going live, going live. We are waiting for audio to come through. I think I should be here. There it is. We are waiting for audio to come through. Why are there two people here? Hi. Sheila S. Hector. Hey, Hector. Barely heard you, son. Barely heard you, son. Barely heard you. Just, I don't know, paid for $10 worth of StreamYards, you know what I mean? So I turned it on and I'm going to stream. But I am planning on playing with some stuff and talking about it. So if you want to chat with me about sound gear and not coins, feel free to let me know and we'll bring you up on panel for questions about audio gear and stuff like that. Wife and I are in quarantine. Shit. Can hear you, but a little fuzzy in the sound. Still fuzzy in the sound, Sheila? Because I certainly don't want fuzzy sound. I could do the thing where I can hear myself too if I wanted. That put on these here. What will I do? I turn that down. Yes, ma'am. And then turn this up. There we go. I hear me now. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. It's better now, so I am told. So tell me, is there a big difference between what you're hearing now, 1, 2, 3, and this right here, 1, 2, 3? This is the sound of my microphone only, basically with no processing at all, microphone by itself, all by itself, and basically all the levels turned reasonably up, I guess, but I guess they're still a little bit on the lower side. I'm trying to keep out the sound of the traffic outside a little bit, but I think it's still a touch low. Now, I could get the microphone more involved here, and that's one thing that you can always do is when your levels are low, you might have a way of turning them up. But a lot of times what's really needed is a better microphone placement because the microphone is everything. All right. Now, actually, part of my diatribe today is that the microphone isn't everything. And that kind of means, what I mean by that is you don't have to spend a lot of money on a microphone. I have a $100 microphone right now that is good enough for Elton John to use while sitting at the piano. And there is a $35 microphone that sounds almost as good as this one that you can get instead of this one if $100 is too much. So having a good microphone doesn't mean having an expensive microphone at all. Hardcore Copper is here. Sheila is here. We're not doing much. We're kind of recuperating from Panucci's friggin' extravaganza last night. So if you were there at Panucci's extravaganza, and I know you were, most of you. Hardcore definitely there. Hector, I saw him there, I'm sure. Sheila, I don't know if you came to, if you don't know Mike P. Panucci, Mike P. with then a dot, like a period, Panucci, please look him up and get on the Panucci bandwagon. Boy, he gave away the farm last night. Perry Makes You Cards, thanks for stopping by. I'm playing with OBS and I'm playing with streaming and I'm talking a little bit about some of the things that are, and some of the ways I get my info, I guess. I don't know. Actually, what it is I spent money on streaming software. I paid money to StreamYard and I have to use it up now or I'm going to feel bad. So I do not. Went to bed at 4 a.m. Well, I don't know what time it was here. It was probably your 4 a.m. We went right to the end, and then we raided Dreadpool in the end really quickly and got him back out of bed, which was funny in itself, I suppose. All right, let me fire up another camera here. I call it the sideways cam, but give me a second to fire it up. So I'm firing up an old cell phone, an old Android, for my back over-the-shoulder shot. Got it plugged into a power supply, so it will get charged up and start working. That'll take a moment. We got a couple of camera angles from here. What else we got going on? I want to capture a page, capture a video input. Hi, kitten. There's my kitten. This is my kitten. If you write the words no name and make them all one name, then that's her name. She's Kitten no Name. And she is a house tiger. She's a Manx kitty she's got some tail. And she's a kitten. And she's huge. She's as big as my doggies. And if I hold her here too much longer after she starts to talk to us, she will claw my face off. It's a microphone. You like it? You like a microphone? Talk to me one more time before you go. Okay. All right. All right. She doesn't like being held. I did hear the message thing. I don't know whose message that is. Let's see. On my halfway's broken phone. Oh, YouTube telling me I'm live. Well, that's a little late, isn't it? I'm kind of already live, doughheads. Okay. Yeah, she's a wonderful kitty. I found her in the backyard. It's the best backyard kitty I ever found. Hey, Coin World UK, live from the UK. It's Coin World. I'm going to put the link up so you guys can pop up because I'm not doing anything. This isn't the thing. This is just me. I don't know. You ever give somebody $10 and then want to get your mileage out of it? Well, that's maybe kind of what's going on here today. We can do all kinds of things. We'll check out all the other people that we know, make sure that if they're streaming and there's something going on that we want to be at, we're over there. I am going to see my head looking back and forth. That's the trouble of having multiple screens. See, you guys are in here. The cameras are right above me, and if I do this, you get a decent presentation of me talking to you. But as soon as I start to look at the monitors that are either right or left or hit the microphone with my hand, you start to get this, or with my eyes, you get that, which I think looks kind of weird, but what do you do? I mean, you don't have a producer, so you've got to look at your other screens. So anyway, I want to get a screen shared here. So I'll put up my product page, select the Windows capture, and then there we go. That's not what I want to capture. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. So that is the YouTube side. Okay. Answer my question, Darren. Do I need two screens for two cameras? No, ma'am. Absolutely not. You do not need two screens to use two cameras. There's the answer to that question. Now, fire out, man. Boop. All right, we got Hector.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Heck.
How you doing? Oh, your voice went.
Let me fix this. I'm not hearing you.
There you
I'm
go.
only hearing me. Momentito, please.
Nada?
Select the thing I hear, turn you up, and then I hear you. Hi.
Hi.
Ooh, very good. Nice and loud.
Actually, I'm keeping my voice down.
Oh, no, I have a volume, so I turned you way up expecting to be able to hear you. And then, whoa, you were there. Just like magique.
I see
Okay.
my thumbnail in 3 different screens on the same screen, if that makes sense.
I know, and it does make sense. I'm just farting around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That item that you are using to switch from camera to camera for angles, What is that item called?
Well, how I switch from camera to camera is StreamYard. Or sorry, yeah, OBS and StreamYards in a way. I'm gonna get into that and just give me a moment.
Sure.
And that will automatically go over and over and over again. Is that what will happen? If I try to show that, but I can show the other thing. Yeah, I can show that. Okay, so what if I do that? Okay, that works. So here's some of the things that I'm doing right now just to like share. I don't know if it makes any difference to anyone at all, but give me a moment and I'll go solo for a second here. So
hello, Nancy, Ghost Nancy T.
Nancy, thank you for coming, Nancy. We're not doing anything. It's just a thing. It's a nothing. It's a me. It's a you. It's a ask questions. There's a spot that you hit that says camera. Okay, let me do this and we'll get into that afterwards. I'm just trying to present my actual software here. So in OBS, you can do things like crop pictures and resize pictures. And right now I've cropped this and it's too small and it is covering what I want to show you. So I'm going to move my microphone just a little bit so you don't see a lot of sound like that. Hopefully I'll mitigate that. And now the first thing I'm going to do is change the crop. So you get to the corner, you hold down the Alt button, and then you drag out the picture. Then I'm going to put that in the corner, and I'm going to do the very same with this corner, and I'm going to drag out the picture till it's full size. And then I'm going to drag that full size picture till it's screen sized. And there you go. That is my soundboard. It is the Revelator IO24 hardware, but this is what you see on the screen when it's in use. So as you can see, my own levels are here. And if Hector says something, go ahead, say something, Hector.
Okay, like what?
That's perfect. I have a little slider there that's marked that says StreamYards, and that's my sound from Hector at this time. None of y'all are here aside from Hector. So when I ever want to hear Hector, I just listen to the StreamYards thing right there. Actually, right? Okay, can I get my
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Testes 1 2. Testes. Oh, right, of course. Now you can see it. Right, perfect. So this is the actual board, and any sound that comes from Hector comes up here, and I've relabeled this StreamYards. Over here on this side, that's me, my microphone, and how much of it I hear. And what's neat about this mixing board you see here is this is what I hear in my headphones or coming through the speakers here at the house. Don't have a lot to do with what you hear. But on the right, over here, I have three little buttons, one marked main, one marked Stream Mix A, and one marked Stream Mix B. And if I click on Stream Mix A, things change. And what do I see? Only one slider up. Why? Because I only use one microphone to talk to you right now. So this is the mixing board that determines what you hear. Now watch this. Say something, please, Hector.
Yes, of course. Ooh.
See? Now, since I've got the slider up on this mixer, the mixer that you hear, I can make you be heard a second time by turning up this slider here. But of course, we don't want that. So we're going to turn it down and we're going to mute it. So this is, as I said, the one and only thing you're hearing, my microphone on the mixer for Stream Mix A. And I'm sending the output of Stream Mix A into StreamYard. So that's how I know that this is the mixer to reference if I want to see what people in StreamYards are going to be able to hear. I've got this one on main for what I'm going to hear, and that is myself a little bit. And if I didn't want to hear myself, I could pull myself right out of there by sliding that down. But I like to hear me, and I like to hear Hector, who is nice and loud.
Yeah, and I'm not using the mic.
Oh, you're using the laptop speaker or laptop. Yeah, and you sound not too bad. I mean, there's a little bit of room echo I can hear, and that's fine because you're in a room and it's not treated for sound, so you're going to hear a little bit of Roomba.
Would that cut out the feedback from the walls using a microphone and a headset in the microphone? I mean, the microphone.
Whenever the microphone is closer to your mouth, it's going to pick up more sound from your mouth, obviously. But that means that the level of the microphone can be lower. Like before, when it was 5 feet away, you had to have the microphone set to 7, let's just say. But now that you've got a microphone that's hanging around near your mouth, you can set that thing back to 4. That means it's picking up that much less room noise. And, your clarity is going to be nice and high. The more input you give your microphone, the more you can turn down input knobs. And the lower you can keep input knobs or any kind of knob and still have the level of sound that you want, perfect. So you always give your microphone a good solid input level and then go from there in order to keep background sounds to a minimum.
I'll be right back.
He'll be right back. Looking into the chat, I'm learning a lot on the toilet this afternoon. That's good. It's a very important place to do your thinking. You've got to buy it. Yeah, you do. That's one thing last night. People are asking me, how do you do that voice? What's the software? Well, it's not software. As I said, it's hardware. And in this case, it is the Revelator IO24 from Presonus. And right now, honestly, it's probably the best box out there for doing what we do. And the reason I'm doing this is not because Presonus has sent this to me out of the love of their hearts, because those guys and I got a bit of an issue at times. But that being said, they are making the best equipment out there for what we do. So even though I have a background with them and I have another one of their devices, which I'll show you just a little bit later, and that other device is even in some ways, better than this one, not exactly. It's got more features, it can do more stuff, but it's not tailored to what we do on YouTube or streaming. So in that way, it's not better, but I'll get to that after. So anyway, the one thing that was all about was the Presonus, and let me just I wonder if I do this. Okay, not that one. Okay, not that one. How about this one? Nope, not that one either. How does that work? I want to capture. Okay, forget it. I'm not going to do a Windows capture. Just get rid of that. So I'm in OBS right now, and up till now I've been using something called window capture to show you what I was showing you. But I'm going to get rid of window capture, and now I'm going to add something called display capture. Display capture will capture the full everything that I display on one of my monitors. And I'll pick a monitor. There it is. And I'll capture the cursor, and that's it. So now everything I put on this screen, you guys will see. So this is the box I bought. This one allows you to plug in 2 microphones and gives you that interesting mixer thing that I showed you earlier that we were just now playing with. Actually, and I'll move that over to here. It gives you this little mixer, and it gives you the controls to do the voices and stuff like that. Now, going down here along the bottom side, you've got the slider for your own microphone, the slider for the second microphone, and then a few others. Won't even describe them for the time being, and then a main one over here. And up at the top, there are buttons and knobs and switches and dials and all kinds of wonderful things that you could use to do streaming. The thing is, this box, the Presonus, does everything we need to do as streamers and makes it easy. Up here at the top section is where the magic happens. There's a thing called the fat channel, and I'm going to turn it off now. And as you can see, my voice is still here, the microphone's still working, but the thickness and strength of the voice is kind of gone. So this fat channel has a lot of different processors that a person would want to use in order to get that broadcast sound that, a lot of us are looking for when it comes to streaming. So There are some basic settings here. You can turn on the HPF, that's the high pass filter, and depending on where you got it set, it's going to affect your microphone a little bit. I'll turn that off. You've got the gate. Now, if I turn the gate off, start to hear my room noise. You can hear cars passing, things like that. So in order to keep a nice quiet stream, I bail on that and I go with turning on the gate. And that takes out all that traffic noise right outside the... what does a ghost have to do to be blue? Nothing. Just ask. And have me pay attention, of course. That's a good thing. Timed out. Yeah, let him have it. Hang on. Can do, Nancy. Anybody else I should do here? Let's do Dennis. We like Dennis. Anybody else gray that shouldn't be? I think that's it for you. Oh, wait, Coin World UK. That's another one. Well, you can see what I'm doing. I'm showing you. Many times over, it's like repeating. Okay, so that takes care of that. Okay, so where was I in the, I got you blue? So anyways, Presonus Revelator, this is the pricing you're finding different places. These are Canadian prices. You'll get it a little bit less expensive. Now, as I said, I've looked far and wide for a unit like this. Now, it's just a box. Lets you plug in a couple mics. You can see that. But what makes it different and why it is worthwhile is the simple fact that the different things that it brings for you, these the features that it's got, they're done with hardware inside the box. A DSP, which is a digital signal processor, does all the processing and it doesn't burden your computer. So if you've been getting streaming with a lesser computer, you don't have the latest and greatest, and you're already, there's some things you can't do because your computer doesn't handle it well and whatever. This type of a box lets you get into things that your computer wouldn't maybe otherwise be able to handle. And if you want to plug in professional microphones, more than one ideally, this is what you got. Like all these things will have, when you get to this level, you're going to have plugs for 2 or more boxes. Now let me just check one thing here on my sideways cam. I haven't got it running yet. Hang on, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Come up on stage if you want. Go ahead. I certainly wouldn't mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hector is here. And my picture is doing something strange. Yeah, let me put myself back here. There I am. God darn it. All right. Now I'm going to, that camera that's over my shoulder, I'm going to get that working. That camera that is a phone that is right there. All right, so I've got Droid Cam fired up on the cam on the old phone on the tripod there. Tripod I've reviewed in a different video, and the old phone, that's the old Huawei P10 Plus. Now, when I fired up the software, it told me it's using IP address that ends in 66. So I have to switch over. Now I'm gonna just pop this over here, and I think I can show it to you. Probably. Got a page. No, I can't because it'll go into over and overville. Okay, so I'm just going to get the IP address set on this camera by updating it. All I have to do is open it up in OBS. and change the IP address it's related to. I said it was 77, didn't I? Hope I did. No, I didn't. Hang on, check again. Uh, 66. Okay. All right. The camera told me what the IP address needed was, and then I put it in. I just need to swap cameras here.
Bye, Dennis.
We're losing Dennis, are we? Well, that looks like a very dirty camera lens to me.
A little bit of haze comes from the window.
I wonder if the back camera would be better. Let's just see. Switch back. Oops. Back to the corner. See what I got for a picture. Upside down. Okay, so here's a good example. We've got a picture, it's upside down. In OBS, I can just click on that picture I'm looking at that's upside down, go to transform, and tell it to roll it over, just like that. Hang on. I'm having a bit of a sneezing fit. Please forgive me.
Allergies?
Take care, Dennis. Have a good one, bro. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Being taggable is fun. Lucy and my bowling day. Nice. I don't have a bowling day. Actually, that's not the worst shot ever. Shows off a little of my mess, but that's all right. Aha. So let me get OBS back over to here. And then switch that scene to over here. So if you don't have microphones already, like this microphone here, that's the Shure SM58. And it's just a little over in that $100 area. And there's another microphone that I suggest called the Behringer Xm 8500. And that microphone is almost exactly the same as this one for around 35 bucks. So if you have a microphone, great. If you don't, there are better routes to go than what I'm showing you right here if you only want one microphone. But if you want two, and you want to use professional microphones like these, you would want to, this is the great route to go, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So what if you don't have a microphone yet and you want one? Let's go back to the product page. And you can get, like, remember, the microphone is a microphone. This one lets you plug in, but if you don't own a good microphone and you want to buy one, then these features are available in a different unit. Let me just show you that one. So in this case, you get the microphone and all that same software that I was showing you. And this one is called the Revelator USB condenser microphone. So instead of getting a box where you plug in your own microphone, you get this microphone and all the same features. You've got the blue ice snowball there. Decent microphone. Comes with its own little stand and is good for, that's a good microphone for almost anybody.
You know,
Really.
I haven't used this in.
Are you going to plug it in?
No.
No.
I just wanted to show you.
Why aren't you plugging it in?
I've never used it at home. I've only
Okay.
used it once in the classroom.
Okay.
And that was for a presentation I did for the classroom. Well, a lesson actually.
Plug it into the laptop right now. Why not? What are you waiting for? It
Oh,
loves you.
it does?
Yes.
I've never used it.
Well,
I basically I just want to see
there's
if
a first time for everything since she walked on by. It's
What's
not
the-
much of anything that I haven't tried to somehow get over you. There's no telling what I might do, 'cause if I've learned anything, it's there's a first time for everything. Oh, you know what? On my own stream, nobody can stop me from singing. I like that.
Testing 1, 2, 3. How does it sound to you?
Okay, well, you're talking into the back of it, so turn it around and it'll be much better. Beauty. Okay, so you're a little bit low. Now, in StreamYards, when you click on camera, mic, and, oh, that's a nice line, you can get to a point where you can adjust stuff in your audio. You'd want to have echo cancellation on and have automatically adjust mic volume on maybe, but you could turn that off and try turning the mic up a little bit. It was a little bit low. Pardon?
On settings?
Yeah, in your cam mic settings on StreamYards.
Let's see.
Right away, I'll say that the initial mic was louder, but this can be made louder, certainly.
How about now?
Still a little bit quiet, actually.
Okay.
Let me see here.
There's a switch in the back says 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so you've got 3 different mic patterns. Let me just... Oh, I see. Yeah. I do wish I had a faster computer sometimes, I must say.
How about now?
Not bad.
You know, this is the first time I've used it. And I would say 15 years.
I actually, and because I don't think he's here, I'm going to say it. I put one in a box and I'm sending it to Numismaniac. The exact, basically same mic, a white snowball.
Believe it or not, there's a black one.
Yep. Believe it or not, it's on your screen right now. The black snowball. There's a white one and a black one, and you have the version with the switch, and mine didn't have the switch. You have a slightly better version of the snowball.
Oh.
No. Yeah, there's one has. Go ahead.
It's good to know because I'm planning on changing one of my rooms dedicated to a lot of my streamings and hobbies.
Okay, so check this out. We won't, I don't know if it's going to play out loud, but actually it does.
As a matter of fact, it's almost the same. Looks like a smaller version of it.
Okay, so you want to use setting 1. Setting 2 turns down the volume. Setting 3 is sound from every direction. Setting 1 turns the volume up and gives sound only from the front of the microphone. So use setting 1.
I'm on setting 1 now.
Perfect.
See?
So as you can see, it's pretty easy to find a review of the Blue Snowball USB. And actually, he's using it. Anyway, so we'll do away with him at this point, but there's your Blue Snowball. That's what the settings are. Glad to help. Next on What's Problem with Your Technology?
Well, this is good because, like I said, I plan to get a new computer, a new system too. And, oh, it does extend. Very nice.
So this fellow is somebody that I trust and I use for lots of information about microphones and everything. So if you ever wonder what a piece of equipment is like, what it sounds like, whether it's any good, this is one place to stop right away. Podcast Stage. Anyway. Podcastage. This is Bandrew. His channel's awesome, and he reviews all the important stuff. If you ever are interested in a new audio interface, the fellow to check here is Julian Kraus. Julian Kraus is first German, secondly German, and thirdly German. He does everything German. And what I mean is he speaks English, but he has German accuracy in everything he does.
I kind of know some of the German brands because I used to sell a lot of audio. And,
well, this isn't about a brand, this particular video I've got up here so much because Behringer is not a particularly high-class brand, but they have some really decent equipment if you pick through their product line. And this video here, it shows the $35 XM 8500 sounding very similar to the $500 Shure SM7B, the big microphone that you'll see guys like, well, everybody uses it because it's a status symbol, and that's the only reason it's getting used. It's not that it's the best sounding microphone in the world, because it's just not. It's not that big of a deal. An SM7B and this $35 microphone can sound so very similar to one another that it's not even worth almost comparison. Pardon. But the bottom line is, some people want to be seen with a certain microphone on camera, and it really, you just don't need to spend that kind of money. If you're going to need a microphone and you want the kind of interface that I was just now showing you earlier, plug in professional microphones, do you need to drop $400 to $500 on a microphone? You know, is kind of like where I'm going with this. Now listen to this. When you see XM 8500, he's talking to into that little handheld black one. And if you see SM7B, you're hearing the more expensive big microphone.
It used to be the same thing when I used to sell wireless headphones. I would sell them the RCA ones, which were like only $100, and they were interchangeable batteries before they were just solid state charging. And they had Bosch, they had JKLs and Bose and all those, and they were like 2 to 5 times more. And I just couldn't see the difference in paying that much more between those brands. And I sold more of the RCAs.
Moto Mining says get an SM57, which is almost identically the same as the microphone I'm using right now, the SM58. Really, a 57 or a 58 are microphones that I would suggest. And an SM57 has the option for a really nice pop filter you can get directly from Shure that is very similar to the look of the SM7B and works really well. In fact, there's a video on that too. I think Julian did it, actually, come to think of it. So we'll just do a quick check on his channel for SM57. Turn your SM57 into an SM7B with a little bit of EQ.
Moto mining.
Mix A course.
SM7B. Normally, it's not possible to make two different microphones sound identical in post-processing. That's because mics aren't one-dimensional devices. They record sound from all different angles specific to a particular mic. An equalizer, for example, can only change the frequency response of the microphone as a whole, but not only the on-axis response, without affecting the off-axis response as well. Don't get me wrong here, you can definitely get two mics sound more similar with EQ, but they will never sound the same. But right here we're in a different scenario, because the SM57 and the SM7B use a similar capsule. Let me read what Shure has to say about this. The SM7...
All right, so there you go. There's the SM57, less than $100 or roughly $100 microphone compared to a $500 microphone. Now go check out Julian Krause. He is the channel that I've got popped on right here, right now. And we'll always do these kinds of things. If you're interested, make your $100 microphone sound like a $700 microphone, and it's not at all hard. So this is what we're saying, which is where I'm starting out to say that if you want a pro microphone, then there are pro microphones at honestly the $35 to $45 level, up to the $100 level, that get you where you need to go. You are in the 90th percentile of, pro sound. The guy who spends 4 times more than you is going to sound just a slight bit better, and not much better. So, do I advocate dropping $400 or $500 on a microphone?
Nope.
No. I took this one out of service. I don't need this here. It picks up too much. It's too much of a microphone for what we're doing here on this. I took that out of service. I brought this. Yeah, that's my studio mic. I brought this into service. It's a better microphone for this. So, what do you need? You need to, if you want and you don't have a good microphone, you buy something that's all in one, like the Revelator microphone, and you go forward. But if you need to run 2 microphones or you want more, then you're going to go with pro microphones in that.
Moto mining. I'm in California. I've known Darren for about 2 years now.
Roughly,
Darren,
I think.
roughly about 2 years.
Well, I don't know if it's been that long, and honestly, as I think about it, I think I got started streaming kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, and we've been through a year in that, and some of that. I think it's under maybe 2 full years, but it just feels like forever because of brothers and mothers.
Yeah.
But it's I can look at my very first video so many years ago and think to myself, if I had continued to make videos consistently after that first video, like when you go back to my first one, it's a long time ago. So, going back to where my brain is today.
The SM50.
I watched a video the other day of a friend of mine who bought himself a brand new piece of equipment. And I looked at this piece of equipment back in the day, and I thought it was a really good piece of equipment. In fact, it's made by a manufacturer that I've bought a lot of equipment off of in the past. In fact, here in my setup here, this box that's right here, that's a DBX Go rack, and you don't hear it. It's a processor for the sound that comes out of my speakers, but it is made by DBX, and it's a great piece of equipment. On the other side of me over here, in the rack that's right here, the bottom thing is a DBX processor as well, a compressor. I don't use it. I used to use it, and above it is a different processor by a different company. But what makes the sound of broadcast is typically a little bit of EQ and a little bit of compression. And so compression has always been important in getting that broadcast sound. And now that there are these units with everything built in, I'm kind of looking for the best of those so I can spend the least amount of money and get the most performance. Now, let me just move around here again a little bit. I have gone through a few of these units, once again over my shoulder, using my over-the-shoulder camera. There's this unit and this one. Those are both audio interfaces, other ones that I've bought over the years. One of them is a different one from this very same company that is one of my favorites, and the other one is made by Yamaha. And so I've wasted money on a few of these things, and they're not wasted. I mean, I still do things with them, but I already have a feeling for, if I had a choice to do it all over again, what I would do. And it would be, at the time, this particular box that I'm using now, the Revelator, wasn't out. So it wouldn't be something I could have bought at the time. But it's what I've been waiting for. Let's just put it that way. So... Some people buy, like I say, this out back in the day, it was all about outboard equipment to make you sound good. And now, as I was saying, you've got this thing called the fat channel, which gives you all these high pass filter, gain, compression, EQ. You've got a limiter if you want to put a limiter on there, and you have the voice changer part with a few different voices. Sound a little bit weird and fun, but not extremely useful. We'll turn that off. So these settings are really easy for a person to use and choose. But if you want to get into the details of it, and you're one of these people who may have owned a lot of equipment in the past, then you can open up this part. Now, you get so much in this box. This is what I'm saying. You could buy a box that looks just like this, that has none of this stuff, and almost for the same price. But it starts with a high pass filter. I just turned it on all the way, and it pulled all the lows out of my voice. This determines how much lows will be there. So if I don't want to sound quite so low, I want to sound like this, I can pull the lows out of my voice. So that's a little EQ for the voice. So I like my voice like that, so we're going to get rid of that. This next thing here is either a gate or an expander. Now, a gate turns off the microphone when it's not in use. And an expander does something similar, but in a less abrasive way. So if I was to turn the expander off and go with the gate, what I would do is I would hit my threshold. Okay, right now the gate is not working. You can hear the traffic. I'm going to turn up the gate till it starts to shut. And the little meter here shows it shutting. So now when I talk, it starts to open. But as soon as I stop talking, it closes. I try to adjust it so passing cars don't open it. But as cars pass by, sometimes it gets kicked on or opened. So gating is kind of open or shut, and this is kind of how it sounds. Now, it's a little bit rough, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the expander instead of gating. The expander is smoother, and if you've got to get rid of background sound, the expander is much better than the gate. I'm showing off the Revelator. Coffee talk. Hey, this guy's a guy. One of the guys that I turn to enjoy their streams and learn stuff, Coffee Talk and Tech. And in fact, he kind of inspired this because he just bought the DBX 266, I believe it was. Don't know the number. Maybe I'm getting the number wrong. It's the all-in-one channel strip for your microphone. What it amounts to is if you've ever looked at one of those great big mixing boards and notice that each one of those strips is a replication of the one right beside it, then what you got is one of those strips that's specifically made for microphone processing with all the things you would want in one little strip. Instead of having a whole board full of them, you buy this one device and it's got all what you would find in one strip for your microphone. But these are the things it has in it. This is what I'm saying. It has stuff like high pass filter. It's got a gate or an expander. Then when we go over to here, it's got a single compressor. Whereas my device, the Revelator, has a few choices for you here in the compression department. I'm using a replication of a FET processor right now, a field effect transistor compressor, but you have options of other modeling, like an optical compressor or a more traditional sort of compressor. Now, as I've turned on and flicked over so you can see those pictures, I've turned off my compressor. So let's just have some fun with that, maybe. I'm back in over to my OBS studio, and now I'm going to do a little cropping. I'm going to grab the edge of the picture, and I'm going to hold and press the Alt key, and I'm going to now change the picture itself to crop into the compressor, and then I'm going to make it big. And then once again, I'm going to crop a little bit, just so we're looking at the compressor only, and just for fun, crop out this top part. And there we go. There's a nice big picture of the compressor. Okay, so let's turn it on. He says. And you would want to set a threshold. So we got to dial the threshold in, and now you can see that the little blue line is starting to climb a little bit as I dial the threshold in a little bit lower. And the ratio, that is something that you tune by ear. A good ratio for microphone compression might be between 2 and 4 to 1. And we're going to dial in 4 to 1. We're not going to use the key filter. I'm going to want a pretty fast attack. So we're going to shorten the attack, and I'm going to shorten the release as well. Now, anytime that you use a unit like this, whenever that little bar drops down, like it is right now, it's reducing my volume every single time you see it pop down. So if I was to turn the compressor off, I might sound a little bit louder than I do with the compressor on. So what you do is you put some makeup gain back in there. Gain. And ideally, the volume of the compressor wouldn't change a lot. When you turn it on and when you turn it off, it shouldn't really affect your voice volume that much. And that is how you set a compressor. Now, I could set it so that it has a less of effect on me so that it didn't do quite as much or wasn't working as aggressively as it is now. But I kind of wanted you to see the line. See, right now, I'm being really quiet. I can be really quiet right now. And it's got a little bit of gain, 5.18 dB of gain to see to it that you can hear me. But if I get louder, it starts to reduce. And if I crowd the microphone and start to get right on it, well, it's starting to reduce things in a huge way, as you can see by the blue bar. But the nice thing, as I say, about this is that we're not limited to one kind of compressor either. We can use other sorts of compressors that actually have different characteristics overall. And the one I have been using was this FET compressor, where I got to do some settings like 4 to 1, 8 to 1. Here's your compressions that you set, or all. So I like 4 to 1. And I got to turn up the input till it starts to affect the, I have to turn it on first. There we go. Turn on the input, up, input. And we're going to turn the output down. This is a little bit of a different one, where we turn up the input till it starts to actually work the processor. Turn it up. Okay, so we can see by the meter that it is doing some work for us. And now we turn up the output, and then we actually turn the compressor off and on. And we're just checking to see if there is much of a change in volume. You don't want a big change in volume. So it's changed 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so we're going to stick with that. And now you can see the compressor's working a little bit in our favor. It's not too aggressive, and it's using a 4 to 1 compression ratio, and it's giving us compression that's reminiscent of a FET transistor compressor. All right. So now we'll dive back over to OBS and change our picture again. Once again, I'm going to grab the corner of OBS. I'm going to hold the Alt button, and I'm going to change our cropping. And then I'm going to make this picture, zoom it back down so I can get the whole crop. Once we hit the red lines, that means I've cropped it out. Oh, stop. There we go. That's the end of the picture itself. You don't have anywhere else to go. It's as big as it gets. Okay, so that's a big picture. We'll make that fit the screen again. And we'll go on to thing number next one, built into the Revelator. All right?
Let me ask you a question, please.
Yes, go right ahead.
I've never really asked before the placement of the meter that measures the red zone, which I'm assuming is the high frequency, and you don't want to go all the way to the far right. But why would it be? Why would you need to measure the volume? Is it because the output that we hear on our side tells us of the distortion or the quality of the sound coming out?
You've sort of touched on a couple of different things there. So I'm going to try to broach all the topics. Now,
Okay.
when we're talking about levels in general and the red zone, I'm not even going to talk about levels from in the past, the analog way, because it doesn't really apply anymore. In the new digital world, all you want to do is make sure that you have decent levels and you don't clip. And with these colors that they're trying to provide to you, they're trying to say, hey, this is the zone in which you're going to sound good, and this is the zone in which you're going to likely do some clipping. Now,
I see.
if I was to, hang on, I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to grab my back camera, and I'm going to make it mobile. We're going home. Well, yes, I want to go home. I'm going mobile. Keep me moving. Okay, so here's a typical kind of meter. And this meter here I'm not using. You're not hearing what you're seeing here, but this would be a little bit too hot, and it would cause a little bit of distortion in the voice where you'd want to reduce that a little bit so that your level ended up pounding into the yellow mostly. And whenever you get too much of a digital signal, you end up with a little bit of clipping, a little bit of crackling, a little bit of distortion. Doesn't sound very nice. So when it comes to levels and setting them for your microphone level, that's the kind of thing you're looking for. Now, when it comes to levels like we were looking at a moment ago from the compressor, now that's a different kind of fish. Now, actually, I'm going to recrop that and bring the compressor back into focus here, because compression is, I don't know why it's a mystery to people, because it is pretty straightforward, and yet it is one of the most maybe misunderstood parts of this. Let me just once again crop that nicely. Compression is sound reduction. So when this tool isn't doing anything, the needle sits at 0. And when you see it working, it's turning the volume down like a magical hand on the volume knob, turning it down for microseconds when peaks of my voice are too loud, and it will turn the voice volume down in order to keep a nice even level. That's what a compressor does. It takes the peaks of things and reduces them so that they're not overly loud compared to the overall program. But compressors also do another thing. If I was to turn the compressor off, my quiet voices, when I get really quiet, there's nothing helping that be any louder. So if it's too quiet, then it's just too quiet. Simple as that. There's nothing to assist a quiet voice in being any louder. Now, when the compressor is on, it not only causes loud peaks to be quieted, but adds a little oomph to a quiet voice. So I've adjusted the input to a point where it starts to move I've adjusted the input to a level that it starts to move the needle when I talk. And then I reduced the output of this unit so that the off volume is basically the same as the on volume. There is this output that can be adjusted that will cause, like I say, a compressor to do two things at once: boost the quietest signal and turn down the loudest signal, and reduce the overall dynamic range of the program, meaning that the difference between the softest part and the loudest part is reduced, but an overall average sound volume level is maintained. And that is important to easy listening. If you end up on a stream where there's one guy who's super loud and a bunch of other people who are really quiet, well, you won't be there long. You'll either turn up the volume so you can hear the quietest people, and then the loud person will talk, and you'll just be driven out of your chair, and you won't put up with much of that for very long. Or, of course, you'll have it turned down so that the loud person's not too loud and the quiet people are really hard to hear, and also not enjoyable. So bad sound, especially differences in sound levels, and especially between multiple people in your stream, that will drive people away from your stream. Absolutely. Now, let's see here. I don't know if that, like, I mentioned that in hopes to describe or explain what's happening on the actual meter that you're looking at, because your question was about the red zone in meters, sort of. And meters do a lot of things, and in this case, the red zone isn't even something we're going to get to, because this is a device that turns sound down, and the meter is showing us by how much and at what times. So the red zone in this case doesn't really come into play, and what you're seeing is the device working to make my voice smooth whenever it needs to. Now, after the compression comes EQ. Let me just get back on over to this.
The equalizer.
The equalizer, exactly. The least amount of equalizing you can do, the better. And that's the case in all cases. So, I mean, if you have to do a lot of changes to make a sound the way you like it, then chances are the thing you're using to make that sound isn't the right thing for you. In other words, if you had to use a lot of EQ to make your microphone sound the way you like it, then you might get better results from a different microphone that has characteristics that are more like what you're looking for. Now, in the EQ part of this, you have all kinds of things here. Basically, it's kind of a 4-band EQ where these little dots are. You can click on any one dot and turn it on or off. You've got the low mid, the high mid, and your highs. Now, human voice doesn't got a lot of highs in it, so this can roll off nicely, keeping noise out of your stream sound. This one here, I like a little boost for my voice around in here. A lot of people put a little notch in here to get rid of S's, but I like a little boost right here. I like a little bass in my voice, so I give it a little oomph here. And over here, no one's voice is down here. No one has a voice down at this low level. What comes in from there is the rumble of the street and all that kind of stuff. So I use this to reduce that rumble, and I could just, however I slope it out like that, that's not going to affect my voice much. So when you select on any of these dots, like for example that one, turn it on and off. With this knob, you select the frequency where it shows up in the graph, and the frequency chart is below, from 50 hertz, which is very low, up to 10 kilohertz and further, which is very high. You've got your gain. That's how much up and down you're going to affect that. A lot or a little. That's not right where my voice is either, so you're not hearing a lot of change there. I don't want a lot of change. And Q. Q is how wide the effect is. Watch. Do you want a little narrow effect? Do you want the effect to be very, very wide? So if you want to get to pinpoint accuracy, you want a tight Q, as they call it. And if you want a little more smoothing, a wider Q. And down here on the bottom, some buttons for shelving. We won't really get into that much, but this is your EQ. Low, mid, and high. And then 2 shelving buttons. to determine how the signal trails off, either at the very end or at the top part here. And EQs are adjusted to your ear. Whatever you think sounds good. You slide this thing around and you say, oh, I don't like the sound of this or that. And then there are a few little guidelines, like the human voice bass is up in this area here. There's some brightness in a voice that's found in around the 2 kilohertz to 5 kilohertz. At 4 kilohertz is this sound that's got its S's. De-essing is used to get rid of this. But if you don't have a problem with S's, maybe you dial that back a little bit. And I could do something like that if I wanted to. But EQ. Now, in this device, there's more than one EQ. There's an old styley analog vintage style EQ. There's a more passive, another sort. These are all modeling famous EQs from, hardware past, basically. And then, of course, the standard. Now that I've gone out and in, it's wiped out all my settings. So since I kind of know what I like, let's just dial that in again. We'll get that nice tight. We're going to, messed it up a little bit. Let's go with that. Let's turn it back on here so we can hear it. I'll put that bump back in at 2. Its Q is a little bit too wide for my liking. Little bump there. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to shelf it down. There we go. A little bump around 100. I think I like it right around there. Check. Put my little tighter bump. I'm going to pull that out there. Check. All right, so since I messed it up, I'm just going to leave it right there. But there's EQ. Now, on this, back on this device here, I'm going to, once again, get over to OBS, grab what you see, make it small in order to make it big. Down in the corner. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. All right. After the EQ part, and it's 3 different choices for you there, comes the limiter. And the limiter is simply limiting. I mean, really. Right now it's on to some extent, but it's not on. Like it's got, what I mean by that, it's set. It's got a setting. It's not all the way to the bottom, but it's not on because it's not turned on. So now it's turned on. So now I have a hard limiter on the whole stream. And I'm not really interested in that. So I could just turn it down, or this way is down all the way, or I could just leave it off. I don't have any use for a limiter in my opinion, so I'm going to leave it off, but it's there. And then finally, the last thing is voice. And there are a bunch of cool things here. The de-esser, detuner, I mean. Detuner. There is the vocorder. There is the ring modulator. A voice filter of some sort. Filter, it says. And delay. So just some fun things there. Not really, not quality of stream stuff, but fun nonetheless. So in the end, in this device, with 2 good, not the best in the world, there's no way I'm going to tell anybody that this thing's got the best preamps in the world. But you get a high-pass filter. You get a gate and an expander. You get 3 kinds of compressor. You get 3 kinds of EQ. Now, if you're an audio guy, you may want your compressor before your EQ, or you may want it after. That's taken care of here. We put our compressor first. There's a limiter. And the voice dealio changer row. Now, that is a great lineup of all the stuff you would need. Now, is hardware better? Yes, hardware's better. Does hardware cost $1,000 per each one of these things? Like, you're going to find a high pass filter on something, but you're going to pay for a gate and a expander. You're going to pay for a good optical compressor. You're going to pay for all of these things. And are these any good compared to studio ones that you would pay $1,000 or $2,000 for? Well, let's say they're better than 80% of what those are easily, and maybe even more. And truthfully, as you would use these different features, you would use them sparingly, just like in the studio. I mean, unless you're looking for an over accentuated sound and you do these things on purpose, like the way pitch correction is used by Cher, not in a way that's supposed to be transparent to you. You're supposed to hear it. And that is the case, in some cases with different kinds of effects that you would want to use. You put them in there because you want people to hear them. And that's completely understandable. But a lot of things are a tiny bit of correction that you don't want to become the focus of what you're doing. And that's the same thing with EQ, with compression, with gating, with high pass filtering, all these things. You wouldn't want somebody to hear this and say, wow, that sounds weird. Darren sounds really like that doesn't sound like him normally, because I sound like this, typically. Now, do I really sound like this? That's a good question. What if I was to just turn off the entire fat channel, which I can just go here and hit the main button, and that's it. No EQ, no high pass filter, no nothing. So no compression, no anything. So if you had a device that just let you get your microphone plugged into your stream, you would get this off of this SM58 microphone, which isn't bad in and of itself, but you're going to need a device to plug it into your computer. If you want to use a microphone that's pro and uses a XLR connector, you're going to need a device. They range from $50 to $5,000. And this one that I'm using is the really good $200 deal that's got all the stuff. And that was, basically, what drew me to it, and to a device they made previous to this one, which I have and showed you earlier. And it's got its own little issues. I'm going to talk about it on a different day, but absolutely. Now, let me find my friend here. Coffee Talk and Tech was here, and he kind of inspired. Well, not really, because I always talk about this.
He's still there.
Yeah, I'm here. This is a 58. He's still here. He just did a coverage of something that he managed to pick up. And hang on, wait a second. Let me get to the right place here. There we go. Now, he did a little video here, and what it is about is two of the different ways you can get this done. VSTs or hardware. Now, he's got some great hardware that he shows off in this video. And VSTs are like software, just loading software in your computer that mimics these pieces of equipment. So this VST is very much reliant on your computer. Now, the Revelator has its own computer. It has a DSP, a digital signal processor inside. So the things it does are, in a way, software, because it's being handled by the computer in the box, but it is also not taxing your computer to do any of it. The DSP in the box is handling all those functions. Now, I had a visit and made a little note. There's the device.
I'm really happy with it. I think it sounds great.
It does.
And
the 286S is a great device. The thing is, it hasn't got an audio interface in it. So you need another audio interface over and above. And for the price of it, now, he got a great deal. There's no two ways about it, and he's smart that way. Doesn't buy anything. His microphone, he got a great deal on. These things are used in studios and used by professionals, and even a used one is something that is a good investment all the time. But in the end, I think that this particular device is the one that, I mean, it may actually give you a little more quality. But then again, as you look at the compressor stage in it, it's got 2 adjustments. Now, that's great for a person who needs it simple, but there are a lot of adjustments involved in a compressor that a person who knows how to dial one in wants to get access to, that it is kind of dumbed down on this device. And a lot of these features of the device are very much like that. They are not what you would find on the studio version of that. Like when you buy a compressor, you don't get, just this little section here. And same with basically all the other sections. Everything on the DBX 286S is simplified. Now that's good. The same thing as what we do with the fat channel on the audio box and settings that you can just simply, select without having to get into the guts of it and deal with that. So no, in no way is this it's a great device and does all the things it does well. But if you buy it, buying it new costs the same as a Revelator, and you still need a Revelator or some other audio device to get it plugged in. And unless you're striving for the 99th percentile of this, you will need another interface, as my friend says here.
The thing is, I mean, this is definitely not for everybody. This is something that I've been wanting.
And I get that. It isn't for everyone. But it isn't for, I think, in my opinion, people who are even doing what we're doing in terms of, unless you're looking for the 99th percentile or 98th or 97th. If you're happy like with where I'm at, if you think this sounds good, you can cut corners is basically what it comes to.
To my audio interface, which at this point right now, I'm using the Wave XLR.
So
and
the
then
Wave XLR would let him run VSTs, those same sort of plugins that cause the computer to work to do it. And, it's very similar to the audio box, except no built-in computer in this device, no DSP, so it can do this work itself and not burden your computer. So otherwise, this box could be something that, is something similar to the Revelator, but it isn't really. Now,
my mic that's right out of shot for in front of me. And so what I'm going to try to do is have that mic into my audio interface and see how that sounds. The only thing is I might have.
And you can see that that's that great big microphone in front of him. And by God, if that thing doesn't sound good for all the stuff that's there in terms of like that, all its mass and stuff, my God, if it doesn't sound good, you'd have to, I don't know, drive nails with it or pound railroad spikes or something. But it does a really good job. It's got all those little vents down the side are all about the technology that this thing has, and it is one of the best microphones for doing what it's doing. But again, it's one of the best microphones for doing what he's doing. One of the best microphones. And it has a price tag, if you don't buy it secondhand or get a good deal, that reflects that. Now, coming right up, he's got another microphone. Now, this is also a $300 microphone, basically, but it gives you an idea. Now, you can get these kinds of results with lesser microphones. They don't have to even be a $300 microphone, but what I want you to hear is this. Here's the audio from that big microphone.
Have to make a little adjustment on. And now I definitely heard a difference in the sound a little bit. And so now you can tell, like right off the bat, I EQ'd this up. It's a little bit more bassy right now. My mic that's right out of shot for in front of me. And so what I'm going to try to do is have that mic into my audio interface and see how that sounds. The only thing is I might have to make a little adjustment on the gain. And now I definitely heard a difference in the sound a little bit.
Is there a difference?
And so now you can tell, like right off the bat, I EQ'd this up. It's a little bit more bassy right now, but not too much, But my voice tends to be bassy, so I don't really have a ton of bass. But
there's not a huge difference. So I guess what I'm trying to say with that is that a little bit of tweaking. Microphones can sound very similar to one another.
Things just sound better on different people with different voices. And that's why you can never just take someone's actual word on a mic. It's just, there's so many factors that come into play with.
So there you go. You never take anybody's word on the mic. You want to hear it. Many of the places where you would buy a microphone, you can rent that very same microphone, bring it home and plug it in and give it an audio test if you like.
Turn red. So that gate is closing any sound below minus 30.
This is a great video.
And
Please
so that's the idea. And you have to work on it.
It's
so
an hour and 10 long, but well worth it. And
also
a lot of fun. I made a lot of notes on it here as I was listening to it myself. He mentioned that the human voice is the hardest thing to reproduce, he figured. But I always thought it was the sound of a train horn, because the sound of a train horn is so incredibly dynamic that when you're in person and then played through any kind of sound device, there's no comparison. You just can't reproduce it. Anyways, so yeah, this is one of the really, really good devices that a person could buy, but it's an all-in-one way of getting all the features that are built into my device. And you still need a device like mine in the end to get the signal from this into your computer. So, again, if you want to go to the absolute end, you want to be the absolute best and have just go right to the very 99th percentile. I think that's the kind of thing a person's looking for. But, I mean, again, there's my DBX 166 SL compressor limiter gate. Do I use it? No. There's a Rolls stereosonic exciter that gets me subwoofer, bottom end, definition. Do I use it? No. There's my Presonus audio box 22 VSL, an early predecessor to what I'm using now, and actually a very powerful device I'll review in another time. Do I use it? No. What about the one below? The UR44 from Steinberg Yamaha. Do I use it? No. Wireless microphone. Of course, you don't use it here in the studio. And right there, it's turned sideways and strapped down with some zip ties, is another one of these. Because this rig is my karaoke rig. When I get back to doing karaoke, as soon as we're allowed back to the bar, I will grab that whole square box of stuff, and it will come with me on site to produce the karaoke shows on every Wednesday night that we do. But that is the device. It has all the good things built in. It's inexpensive. It allows you to run 2 professional microphones, or I got my bass plugged in, so a bass guitar and a microphone. It's way better than any of these. And it gives you all the stuff that this thing has. Plus, you don't need an audio interface to use it. It is an audio interface. Are there better? Yep. Can you spend more? Yep. Should you? Nope. That's why I think I'm definitely a nut for this stuff. All right, Coffee Talk is heading out. Thank you for coming by. Again, make sure you visit his channel and give him a sub, because the information you're going to get there is firstly accurate and true. Secondly, well thought through. He's got a buddy on there that comes on, Jeff, that is another great guy who has the info and is willing to share. So, that's what's important. We like to share the info. We like to share the info. I think I can fire this back in there, can I? Sure I can. Previously, that other Presonus device that I have, the AudioBox 22 VSL, I tell you, it is as easily as good of a box, but they didn't support it properly. And so without proper support, of course, things, they're no good. So getting back to this a little bit, and this is one of the other things that really, really impressed me about this and made it So, hey, Angels, thank you for stopping by. The idea that this mixing board that's on the screen is actually 3 mixing boards is kind of cool. Now, let me see here. I think I can do that. I'm just going to change the shared screen here. All right. So when you're using StreamYard and you go into the settings part, got your general, you got your camera. Now, I am using OBS to handle all my camera. So that means I have OBS virtual camera selected here. You would select whatever camera you're using, or if you're using OBS, you have to use OBS virtual camera. So that's what I've got selected. And over here, the advanced options, we just make sure we've got it set to 720. And that's good. In the audio, this is where it's cool. Now, anytime you're using speakers out loud, have the mark in here. If you're using headphones, take it out. You're not doing stereo audio likely, and you may or may not decide to adjust the mic volume automatically. It's up to you. But up here, this is where you choose things, and I have lots of good choices because here I can choose, and if you can just ignore all this other stuff to begin with and take a look at this, Stream Mix A or Stream Mix B. So this is what I'm going to send into StreamYard, either Stream Mix A or Stream Mix B, and I'm going to choose A. And then for my speakers, I'm going to get the output from StreamYards into Stream Output A or Stream Output B. Disregard the other things you see here. So I'm going to choose Stream Output A. Without getting into the other things, we're closing here. And then we switch back here. Now, on this right-hand side, there are 3 buttons all under this heading Mix. We got Main, Stream Mix A, and Stream Mix B. When I click on Main, this is what I hear. So right now I'm hearing my own microphone, as you can see, bouncing around. But if I do this, you still hear me, but I don't hear me. I'm not in my own headphones anymore. And since I like to hear myself, I'll put myself there. If I had a second microphone, I'd do the same with this. This is live YouTube, meaning that if I had a YouTube page open and was playing it, this is where the sound for that page would come. And since I have Hector and StreamYards with me, if he talks, it comes up right here under the slider mark StreamYard. And once again, this is just what I hear, how loud. I could make Hector super loud or super quiet. It wouldn't affect what you hear. And then this, I got marked as George because, George, you want to turn him down, right? But it's Stream Mix B. So I have all the StreamYard stuff coming into Stream Mix A right now. And if I had stuff coming in on Stream Mix B, it would be controlled here. And then this is just reverb. If I turn that on and turn it up, I can hear the reverb, but you can't. You won't hear this because this whole mixer is all about what I hear, not what about you hear, not about what you hear, pardon me. But if I click on Stream Mix A, this is a completely different bird altogether. Now it is what you hear with this effect microphone. As I turn it up, I'm louder. I turn it down, I'm quieter until I go. So this is what you hear. If I want to play back YouTube, I have to make sure this is up. If I play a YouTube page and this is down, you won't hear it. And then there's StreamYard. I can turn that back up. Hector, you still there?
I'm still here.
There he is, right there. So we'll leave him up, and we'll leave this up too. You'll notice here, I have some headphones. I can click on them, and that determines what I'm hearing in my headphones. So if I've got main on, I'm hearing what I'm got selected here on the main. If I click on Stream Mix A, I'm still listening to main, but if I click here, now I'm listening to Stream Mix A, and that's just what I'm sending out the stream mix on A. Now B, I got nothing hooked up to B right now, but if I was using Discord or Skype or anything like that, I could make it Stream Mix B and control it from there. But for now, I only need main mix and stream mix A for StreamYards. So this device is basically 3 mixers. It is for 2 microphones, up to 2 microphones. It has a bevy of microphone effects like delay, reverb, and all that kind of stuff. But then it has the studio stuff that makes you sound like a broadcaster. It's got the compressor, the EQ, the other things that are part of the fat channel that goes across the top. And if all this stuff at the top seems complicated, then you just turn this on and you've got all the settings, basic ones right here. If you want to use the high pass filter, you can choose 3 different settings. If you want to use the gate, you can turn it on. You can choose settings. If you want to use the compressor, you can turn it on, settings. Limiter, once again, settings. And voice and settings. So they try to make it as easy as possible. This little wheel is just presets. There are a number of different presets in here, and they're, just for playing with, basically. And over here is, I don't know, more weird stuff I haven't really gotten too in-depth in, honestly. All of this section here is about presets that you can get set up for yourself and then don't have to mess with again. I don't care for this little knob that much. It's kind of, I don't know, clunky to use in a way. Yeah, see, I kind of messed with it and screwed everything up here.
You're a dog.
That's not my dog.
I know, but I hear it coming from your side. It's very faint.
Don't kick my dog, as they say. I'm going to put that FET compressor back in there, turn that up, turn it on. There, oh, wow. Yeah. This one's weird. Doesn't work the same way as compressors as I'm familiar with. You have to turn up the input till you see it's working. Then you got to turn down the output. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. That seems all right. Seems all right. What did I do to the EQ? Yeah, it looks different now again. There are ways to do saves so that you don't lose what you do all the time. I am not doing that yet. See? That's a shelf. I don't want a shelf. I want a tighter cue. We'll just leave that there for now.
Hey, Darren.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to leave my wife ready for lunch.
You have real life getting in the way? Go ahead.
Actually, because she's in quarantine.
Oh yeah, you guys are both. That's not good. You guys have to live through
So-
that. How many days do you got to be locked down?
Till Thursday.
Did somebody in the family get it, or did you guys?
Actually, she tested last Monday on the 17th. She was tested positive for COVID, and I wasn't. And we're in the same car, taking the same test on each side of the car.
It makes a person wonder in the long run, doesn't it, about accuracy and things? But best to take steps if it,
Yeah.
Well,
What the doctor says is that I have a better immune system. He does.
Well, those are personal for sure. So,
Yeah,
I mean, you both sort of had the same exposure, I would imagine. So, yeah, you must have a better back system, which is, good for you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Darn.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna what's for dinner.
Lunchtime sounds good.
Yeah,
All right, thank
yeah.
you for stopping by. It's
All right, thanks
in
for
the afternoon where we live, so that's
today.
lunchtime. Metal detecting Lincolnshire. That sounds like it might be the UK,
It sounds like it.
doesn't it? Because it's a
Yeah,
shire.
yeah.
Worcestershire, Shosh.
Oh, buried. Okay, everyone in chat, Darren, talk to you soon again.
Right on. Thanks for stopping by. Muscle Shell was in the house. Panucci, of course, doing that thing last night that we all went nuts over. More people, more chatting, more giveaways, more everything. We maxed stuff last night over at Panucci's. We maxed it. What a great time we had. What a great time we had. So, once again, I like to try to help people with their questions, and, if you have any input for me or whatever, but I am not a know-it-all on this stuff. And I get all of my info from a few different places. I try to stay up on what comes new. Maybe I get on the microphone a little bit and you can hear. As soon as you're on the microphone and you're using compression, it automatically reduces levels and keeps you at that nice level. But as it reduces levels, it reduces sound, like side sound in your room. All right. Ooh, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for another video that came out today from another channel that I follow religiously called Booth Junkie. Booth Junkie. Booth Junkie is, well, it's a streaming channel, honestly. Booth Junkie. Where is my Booth Junkie show? He doesn't put out enough stuff, honestly, Booth Junkie. He's really good. All right, there's Mike. That's Mike Delgadio, and right now he's reviewing a Mackie Mcaster Live, something that Mackie just made for a person who wants to do streaming like you and I and others. Angel, gotta go. Tater, later. Supper time. Cream cheese and maraschino cherry sandwich. I don't know what a maraschino cherry sandwich would be like at all, but it's probably pretty good. So here he is, and he's reviewing the Mcaster Live. I think it's a very similar device for doing what the Revelator does. And when I saw this review and watched it earlier today, I thought to myself, well, if it's an inexpensive device, then yeah, it wouldn't be bad. But, if it's a reasonably expensive device, then not so much, maybe. Pardon me. I don't think it's an overly poor device, but I don't think it's an overly particularly good device value-wise. There's the device itself, the Mcaster Portable Live Mixing Streaming Mixer, pardon me. And very small. It's got a lot of inputs and stuff, but it hasn't got any DSP power or anything like that. And when you go looking for what this thing cost at $300, I don't think so, honestly. Why? It has no DSP. It has no processing power. It's got a couple of plugs for microphones and stuff, and does essentially what otherwise this thing I've got does, but with no oomph. At $249 for the single microphone and software. If you don't own a cool microphone and need one, you would grab the Presonus Revelator USB condenser microphone, which comes with the Revelator software we've been looking at. So that gets you your microphone and the software. Or at $279, the device we've been looking at today, the Revelator. Why in the world would you spend $299 on the Mackie? That don't make sense. Anyway, so this is the thing. There's good value to be had in some devices and then maybe not quite so much in others. So this is kind of the thing we're looking for, right? We want to get the most value. Now, if you needed a inexpensive microphone interface, you didn't, don't see yourself dropping. Well, in the States, it's a little bit less expensive. I think the Revelator. Let's take a quick look here. We'll take a run out to Amazon.com, where you all live. It wants to change me back to Canada. So in the United Freedom Stations of America, you pick that one up for 200 beanies. It gives you software too. You get a mixing software and stuff like that that we wouldn't typically use unless you're producing music. But yeah, it's a little less expensive in the States. I think you could probably shop it around and get it for even less than that, possibly $199 is what it's showing here on good old Amazonian.com. So yeah. And I also have one of these. I'll show you another one I have. I have it. It is the Behringer. Not Tom Behringer. I spelled it wrong. Behringer. Behringer. Go to the Behringer home. Look at their live portable sound. .1204 USB. All right. So this is behind me in a box. There it is. Nice picture. Wonder if I can get a better picture of this. I'll agree. Yes, I agree. Well, that's not really very... All right. That is a really crap-ass picture of a really tiny... This is a pretty big little mixer, actually. When I say big little, it's got room for 4 microphones and then some. And then the very first thing on this thing... I hate this. Hang on. I can't show anything like this. You stupid people. Once again, I'm cropping. So I'm in OBS now, grabbing the corner, hitting the Alt button, and cropping out to the picture. Out to the picture. Now, what happens when I go over this? It gets big. How big? Okay. So we're going to move this out. We're going to move this out. Okay. Right into there. All right. We'll use that. This was the first thing I owned, and I still own it. It's, as I said, it's in a box behind me. And when I was doing karaoke and wanted to run more than one microphone, this was the answer. Because I wanted to run at least 2, possibly more. And I actually owned an even bigger one of these before, but I got rid of it and got this one instead. So you got your microphone in, you got a line in, you got a low cut, which is the same as the high pass filter that you saw on the device I use these days. You got a compressor, a 1-button compressor. So as you can imagine, very little control over your compressor when it's a 1-button compressor. You got an EQ. I showed you the EQ in the device that I use these days. Had an effects send, an auxiliary send, that for external equipment. When this stuff isn't built in, you're going to have to use external equipment. And if you're going to use external equipment, you're going to have auxiliary sends. So you need those. Then you got an FX send for the effects that is built into this board. Well, I got effects built into my wee little box. And pan, whether you want the signal to go to the left or the right, of course we can do that. Mute, of course we can do that. Do we have sliders? Of course we do. Do we have lights? Of course we do. And what I've got now is the equivalent of 2 of these strips. So where you see 4 here now, picture that my current device has 2. And it has all of these things you see here and more. So, you know, what is a nice little mixer and not overly expensive, and also a way of getting this done. If you owned this thing and you wanted to use it for what we do, you could. It just wouldn't do any of it as well. But this is another piece of equipment that I own and I'm very familiar with, and I can definitely speak to the features of and quality of Behringer audio equipment. Definitely. But I mean, if a guy wanted to get into it and needed a device, products, Stats Online Portable Musician Recording and Broadcast. Okay, so if we go into recording and broadcast, microphones, interfaces, speakers, my God, they got it all. Studio recording, audio interfaces. Okay. So starting at something as simple as this kind of a thing is a basic audio interface, what you're looking at here. And here's you got one for the UM2 for a single microphone and an instrument. Something below. Now this thing, like a UM2, that's a $50 item. So, you could get into plugging in a microphone. It's got no DSP or anything like that. And lets you, can I search Google? Yeah, let's Google that. Okay, so there we go. $62. Probably Canadian too. But that gets you a microphone plugged into your computer with the proper professional microphone plug. And that, this is how inexpensive it can be if you want to just get a microphone plugged in. But I wouldn't even go that route for most of you, honestly, because I maintain that the route to take is a USB microphone. And let me show you. Swing back over the Amazonian here. So this is what we do. First, we pound out USB microphone, and you can see the different ones. We got Hector to plug in his Blue Snowball. There it is right there. Pardon me. Got a little burpee. But here are some really great microphones. Some of them are name brand, others not. But what you would do is if you picked out a microphone that you liked, like let's just say you want a USB microphone and you like the Blue Yeti. $162 is maybe within your budget, and this is the one you're going to pick. Great. So now you take this Blue Yeti, okay, and you type it into the top part here, Blue Yeti, and then type in podcast age. And then we go down to, what did we find on the Podcast Age channel? But a review.
Hey everybody,
of the
welcome
Blue
back to
Yeti.
Podcastage. My name's Bandrew, and I am back with another microphone test video for you guys.
And this is how we find out what they sound like. We can use
Today
a
I
number
am
of different
testing
things.
out this guy, hands down the most requested mic that I have been asked to review. It is the Blue Yeti microphone, and I've received like 100 requests for it. And if you are interested in this microphone, as per usual, I'll throw a link in the video description down below, and it'll set you back about $100 depending on when you buy it and what color you get. I think I bought this for about $80, so just make sure you check around because these things are always on sale and you can can get them pretty cheap. Okay, now let's talk about what you get in the box. Obviously, you're gonna get the microphone. Then you're gonna get this USB microphone cable that allows you to plug the microphone directly into your computer. You also get the stand which the microphone is initially attached to. I just took the microphone off so I could set it up on this boom arm. And then lastly, you get the documentation, which...
So there you go. So that's how I figure out, a little bit about microphones. I use my resources of YouTube and guys like Bandrew to figure them out. I see that this picture of Bandrew sucks. Hang on. Once again, back into OBS Studio, where I'm going to get to the corner, press down the Alt key and hold it, then click the mouse button, and then I'm going to drag this out. And I'm going to make it just as big as the YouTube video. Just as big as the YouTube video. So I'm stealing this video right out of there. Just remember, podcast stage. That's where this comes from. I'm not trying to rip off Bandrew. I love Bandrew. And I want you guys to love Bandrew too. So, and that's right. I said Bandrew with a B. Bandrew. But you can't go wrong when it comes to testing, and like, check out these playlists, okay? $20 dynamic microphone review. This is a playlist of $11 to $24 microphones. $11 to $24.
Greetings, Earthlings. Today I'm back with a review of an extremely affordable handheld dynamic microphone. Okay, why is my head so cool? Oh my god.
Oh, he always
You
wears
saw
his
nothing.
toque.
You saw nothing.
And we're Canadian,
the microphone
so we
we're
call it a
looking at
toque.
today is the Behringer Xm58 or SM85 or whatever Behringer is naming it so they don't get sued by Shure. If you are interested in this microphone, it will cost you around $20. Like I said, very affordable. Like always, I'll throw some links down below. For this review, I have the microphone connected directly to the Focusrite 18i20 2nd Gen. My gain is set just at around 415 on the gain dial. I will not do any kind of post-processing.
That microphone is almost identical to what I'm using. And I paid $100 for mine because it's a Shure SM58. And this is the Behringer SL85, not 58, remember, A. And so it's not an SM58, it's an SL85, and it's $20.
But I may have to boost it in post, so check the doobly-doo to see what I diddly did. And now let's talk about what comes in the box.
He always throws the box.
First off, everything comes in a nice plastic storage case. You will of course get the microphone, a microphone mount, a 5/8 to 3/8 inch microphone stand adapter, and some documentation. Then as far as the build quality...
So now you're listening to, as I said, a $20 microphone. Nothing wrong with that, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, diving into podcast stage and looking at the playlist, seeing these 11 to 24 mic reviews, 24 to 49, blah, blah, blah. Actually, what I was kind of hoping that he did was and I'm sure he did, a USB mic review. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm back with a review of a $10 microphone.
Wait a second. A $10 microphone. Okay.
So today I'm reviewing this guy, the Zethidum Studio Condenser Broadcasting Microphone
that
Kit
said
thingy.
stupido.
You do want to pick it up. It'll set you back $9 or $10 on Amazon. That's right. I'll throw some links down below. So for this review, I'm connecting the mic directly to the Xenix 302 USB through the 3.5mm microphone input. My gain is set at about 1 o'clock, and my mic volume is set dead center. And before you leave a comment asking me, why are you using the Xenix 302 and not the 2i2 2nd Gen? Well, I tried to use the 2i2 2nd Gen with an XLR to XLR cable, and these were my results. Now I've connected the microphone directly to the 2i2 2nd Gen using an XLR to XLR cable with the phantom power on, and I had to increase my gain to 100% to get any signal, and I'm still only hitting about -18 decibels on my meter at my peaks. So now let's talk about what comes in the box. Obviously, you're going to get the microphone, you get a metal mesh pop filter, you get a foam windscreen, you get this shock mount, you get this desktop tripod stand, which has a 5/8 to 3/8 inch adapter already attached on it. You get an XLR to 3.5 millimeter cable.
So this is an unusual thing, and this is not usually recommended, but here we have a $10 microphone that plugs directly into your computer, into the microphone plug you would have used for, the back of your sound card, back of your computer, side of your laptop, that kind of thing. Even it doesn't sound terrible. I mean,
mine did not actually work, and you get some documentation. As far as the build,
talk about quality, though. This guy was just now saying that the cable he got with the microphone didn't work. So, I mean, when you're spending $10, you know that there's quality issues probably in the process somewhere.
Quality, it doesn't feel great, but it is a $10 microphone. It does have a metal casing, a metal grill. It is on the light side, but that's what you would expect out of a $10 microphone kit, especially considering all the other stuff you get. When it comes to the reported specifications, this thing has a cardioid polar pattern, a frequency response of 20 Hz to 20 kHz, a sensitivity of -34 decibels, an impedance of 150 ohms, an equivalent noise level of 16 dBA, a max SPL of 130 decibels, and a signal-to-noise ratio of 78 dB. So now I'm spinning around the microphone to see what the actual polar pattern of this thing is and how the tone of my voice changes as we move around the microphone's capsule. Now I'm typing on share.
I have no idea how a $10 microphone from Amazon sounds like that. Even that doesn't sound horrible. It is not great, but does it work? Sometimes it's up to you if you want to gamble with this budget kit, but if you do get it to work, I think you'll have very few complaints because it's only $10. Yeah, no kidding. Is that really still here for 10? No, that's not it. Currently unavailable. Broadcast kit for shock mount mic holder pop filter pink. Well, if this ever sold for $10, not that I would buy it, because, no, but $10? So I've showed you Podcast Stage. That's one of the places where the good information comes. We went to Booth Junkie. That's another good place where the information comes. Who else would I go to regularly? Well, I think we'll end with the streaming professor. Now, this guy here, he covers streaming from the point of view of gaming. The stuff that he shows is good for all streamers. It doesn't really matter what you stream or what your streaming deal is. But, if you want to learn OBS big time, here we go, starting with an OBS Studio Masterclass that is going to cover stuff you don't need to know, but everything is in there. And let's get rid of Bandrew here in the corner. If we go to the video list, this guy's got a bajillion videos. He puts them out every single day almost, and definitely covers the details when it comes to streaming, but definitely also comes to when it comes to all the hardware that comes out and that kind of stuff. You're going to get it totally covered here. And of course, he most definitely did cover the Revelator when it came out. Of course he did. In fact, if you were looking for it, you would just type in Revelator.
For microphone arms and the like, but we just have it propped up here on the desk.
See, in this one, he compares the Elgato Wave for the Presonus Revelator USB microphone. So that's the kind of option that you go for if you don't own a microphone yet and need a microphone and all the cool stuff. But not really what I'm looking for here. Let's give this a try again. So here are 3 different ones here. Did Go XLR finally answer our demands? Probably not. Then, is this the new best audio interface for streaming? And he answers his question as he reviews the Revelator IO24. And then in the end, I'm retiring my Go XLR for this. And this is, of course, a story about the Revelator. And, of course, burying a Go XLR in the backyard, which he doesn't really do, I'm sure. You know, that doesn't happen.
Streamer Nexus and the Elgato Wave XLR released, as well as there's more coming that I can't tell you about yet, but I am excited for. One release that I wasn't sure that I would love so much is this little guy right here, the Presonus Revelator IO24. This new audio interface is meant to be a badass multi-purpose USB interface for vocals, music, and creators of all kinds, but it actually seems to be perfect for my desk setup too. This thing is the same price or cheaper as the Go XLR Mini, but much more powerful, and competes with the full-size Go XLR in many respects. A pair of XLR and 1/4-inch jacks sits right on the front, already an upgrade from the other streamer-focused products for those doing content with either more than one speaker or someone who needs an extra hookup for instruments or something like that. You also have a teeny tiny little LCD screen, input configuration buttons, mute button, and a clickable dial for quick volume adjustment of a few different ways. Around back, you have a Kensington lock, USB Type-C connection, MIDI in and out, 1/4-inch main outputs for running to speakers, studio monitors, or another mixer. Thank you, Presonus. Finally, someone doesn't forget us speaker users. Ugh. And a 1/4-inch headphone jack. I would have preferred the headphone jack to be up front and the XLR jacks to be around back, but this is fine as well. I actually have this hooked up to my Presonus Aris 5-inch studio monitor speakers, funny enough. The box is sleek and clean in its presentation. There's a subtle blue LED ring around the main dial and backlighting to the buttons, but it's not in-your-face RGB or anything like that. The XLR preamps provide 60 dB of gain, which appear to be enough for the Electro Voice RE20 and Shure SM7B without a cloud lifter, as long as you don't plan on whispering or being too quiet. And it has 48 volts of phantom power available as well. The headphone amp works with an impedance range of 32 to 300 ohms, so it should work with most.
I'll suffice to say that this guy loves this thing and he knows his stuff. He's reviewed and does review every single one of these things that comes out. And I'm telling you, this is a really good unit that has all the great stuff in it. And guys like Ipos Vox and Podcast Edge, Booth Junkie, and others, of course. But these are some, and Coffee Talk and Tech, please. Again, you know what? Coffee Talk and Tech is little compared to these other guys I've mentioned, and I want you to give him some special love. If you guys can visit him, sub him, and check out his stuff, I'd really appreciate it. It's going to be good stuff that you're going to be able to really, appreciate and get benefit from. But, it's also going to be supporting the smaller guy, right? There's lots of guys out there. Some of these guys are huge, and like Linus Tech Tips. He's in my community pet tab as my #1 computer tech guy for sure. But Epos Vox is easily my #1 streamer tech guy. So I guess based on that alone, and maybe going back to that same video that I just was watching with regards to the
Most
Revelator.
headphones, even good ones, but perhaps not all really high impedance ones.
Share that on my community page here. We'll just post that up right now.
This is the Presonus Revelator IO24, an awesome audio interface / kind of a mixer that competes with the Go XLR. It provides a much higher quality onboard DS.
Let's freeze that for a moment while I do the share thing here. Create a post on my channel and say, if you need an audio interface, this is the one you need. Not kidding. I'll make that a post on my community page. All right, cool. So who else is streaming right now? Let's check. Let's do the community thing. And let's see what's happening out there in the world of coiny things and our coiny friends. Joe Durbin is having the Joe Durbin auction right now. That's the only live thing I have going on right now for us. So Joe Durbin, very cool. Let's see what else is cool here. Surprising palm-sized Bluetooth amp. Okay. Looks like a toy.
Do a search for Bluetooth amps on Amazon, and you will find a plenty, like dozens and dozens and pages. But I came across this amp and I was like, man, this looks pretty cool. It's only 25 bucks. It's kind of roundish, kind of wood grain finish, has some little meters. So I said, let's get one in. So guess what I did? Bought one. Here it is. You can see not much to it. It's the amplifier itself. The manual was to be mostly in Chinese.
Wow, what the heck is that?
And see what that says. It says Mini Digital Amplifier Manual. Now inside this mini digital...
Okay, so I'm not going to steal his whole video here, but... let's check this out just for a moment.
Mimicking IHF 202 standard. First up, we're going to try the amp at 8 ohms. They do not provide any ratings at 8 ohms, so let's see what we get here. First test is certified. 24 volt power supply is being utilized. And here you can see we get right around 30 watts. 28
30 watt amplifier, that's all right.
The 14 volts you're seeing there is just for powering the amp dyno. So again, we're using a 24 volt power supply for the amplifier here. Uncertified test takes us up to the clipping point, 29 watts per
30
channel.
watt amp.
So about half of what they say this amp will do, a little bit more than half. Dynamic, we get right at 30 watts and 29 watts.
So it's got a little tiny chip in it that's a
same
30 watt
across all three
amplifier
tests.
chip, and that's it.
Now let's try it at 4 ohm stereo. It's rated 50 watts by 2 max, and that's just
50
the
by
chip.
2. Will we get
The
50?
TPA 3116 that's rated to do 50 by 2. Certified test first, you'll notice it kind of jumps around a little bit here with the power. Notice that, so I don't consider that really clean. The 4 ohm load here is a resistive load. When you hook up speakers, they're reactive load, so you're not going to see a constant 4 ohm load like the dyno has, but this is just for testing amplifier output. Uncertified test, again, not a clean count, but we did get right at 50 watts.
Well, at least
per
it's
channel.
not lying.
And the uncertified test takes us up to clipping. Dynamically, you can see
Yeah,
here,
it's a 50
we get
watt
right
amp
around 50
maximum.
watts again. Again, this is the 1 kilohertz burst tone into the amp. So right about at the ratings. Now the results, we'll say impressive for the money because it's not very much. And here are the results we just talked about.
I wonder
If you
how
stick
much
around
they
to the
did
very
want
end
for
of
it.
the video, I do show
What'd
a
they say?
2.67 ohm run, and you can check that out. Now we'll do the Do It Bump Dose segment. We call it a tiny amp with big sound. And you'll see what I mean compared to the speakers here. Look how small this amp is. It does literally fit in the palm of your hands. You turn it around and these huge binding post connectors. I didn't have any banana plugs to utilize for this, so I went ahead and just inserted the wires. This is around a 16 gauge wire. Fits in with no problem, and this is probably the best way to hook it up. And the center at the bottom has the place for your DC power. Plug that in. Again, I used a 24 volt 10 amp. First up, we're going to try the Bluetooth. We'll power it on by pushing the center. That turns on the amplifier. You see the green light in the center. You see the blue light blinking for Bluetooth.
In a set of Bluetooth speakers, you can
And
use
then we're
to
going to get out
play
our
your,
cell phone, and it shows up as Mini D-Amp or Mini DAMP. Not sure where they get that from, but yeah, just touch it on your phone, whatever you want to connect with Bluetooth, and it pretty much connected it instantly. So that's good. So let's check it out now with some music.
Well, that could be worse. tiny little amp with a bunch of flashing lights. That's not bad.
On the side here, we have a connection for USB-C, which can be used according to them, the manufacturer, with either a cell phone or computer. It says it doesn't need drivers or anything. I just plugged it in to my Windows 10 computer, plugged it into the device, look on the computer, and it pretty much shows up instantly and says it's ready to go.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
On the right side of the amp is a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary connection. Let's try that now.
Okay, it's Bluetooth right now into the amp.
That's cheap and cool. If you have an old set of speakers sitting around that isn't doing anything, you would be able to resurrect them as a Bluetooth set of speakers for $36 with, you know, not tons of power, but enough. That's pretty cool. Any old set of stereo speakers you got laying around the house, that's it. That's all you need. Your old set of speakers, and oh, they're from Knob Sound too, eh? I've heard of them before. They make quite a few cool things. Well, that's pretty neat. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. But I am impressed. Panucci, I'm putting the stream link right there in the stream. I don't care. I'm not going to link. I don't feel like emailing. It's here. It's right there. Nobody can get up unless I click on them, and I'm not that popular, so I don't have to worry about being flooded. Even bots are welcome. That's right. I said it. Even bots.
All bots can find a home here, where I will decapitate them and take them apart for spare parts. No, I will love you and take care of you forever for spare parts.
Or something. Yes, sir. We might have a visit from Mr. Panucci. He just sent a little, email to me for the link that I just put up there. And he was responsible for keeping us all awake last night. It's his fault. What other cool things has my YouTube brought me? Numismatic Stacker put up a video. Backyard Bullion put up a video. Mia's Coins put up a video. She got a mail call. Let's check out Mia's mail call, shall we?
Hey everybody, this is Mia from Mia's Coins, and we got mail today.
Look at all the mail.
All right, let's check it out. We got mail from Dream Big
She goes to pick up her mail because otherwise the
we got mail
mailman
from
would hate her,
Steelers Stacker.
probably.
We got mail from Opus.
Opus.
Got mail from Miss Christina Rogers.
Wow.
And we got mail from Sandman Coins and Collectibles. Yay!
All right, check out Mia. She's
Now,
got
the
mail
mail
going
from-
on, and a lot of great packages arrived. So clearly that's worthwhile. Goodbye. Make him go away. Definitely. Evening, Muscle Shell. Around so far away. Thank you for stopping by. I am just, you know, when you spend $10 on something and then you stop using it? That's not me. I'm getting my $10 worth, damn it. So Joe Durbin's on. A couple of the other things I watch. H3 podcast is on, and AAP's Variety Channel. I don't even know what they do there. Not sure. It says they're in Michigan. Let's ask.
310.
Dude.
All right, here we go. We're going to get 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's not a very enjoyable stream to watch.
4, 4, 6.
Yeah, no, that's no fun. I don't know what this is, but I don't think it's any fun. Mike Wolf, you're here? Oh, look at you.
1, 2,
Maybe
3.
some kind of a giveaway going on here, but not very intriguing since it's not streaming well at all. Gambling channel. Is that what it is? Ah, we don't gamble. I don't gamble. Not a gambler. I do think it's time to get some more coffee, though. That I am pretty sure of. Now's the time to serve and preserve BC brand Super Duper coffee. BC brand Super Duper coffee is wondrously juicy, marvelously sweet, and so easy to preserve. It's at peak of season prices now, and that means extra savings. Don't let the yummy coffee season go by without serving your family yummy coffee often. No idea. But none of our other, none of my other subscribed channels are on right now. So we're not missing anything particularly. Christina Aguilera couldn't be happier for Britney Spears. I think that's important. I'm happy Britney has her life back. And I look forward to some great music from Miss Britney. I'm actually thinking about what are the other channels that aid me in learning about the streaming thing. And so I'm going to just do a quick, pardon me. I'm just looking through all the different channels that I'm subscribed to. Sound Test Room. Hop Pole Studio is another good one if you're into studio stuff. The Studio. Not too sure what they do there. Oh, look. Tuesday, January 25th, game night at Nancy T's. So set your reminder for game night at Nancy T's. Gamers Nexus. We like Gamers Nexus for sure. Think Media is a good place to learn about streaming. We always watch CoinGeek. CoinGeek is great. Oh, family's home. Oh, really? I love Sophie. Let's check this out. Pretty darn good.
The guitar is a very unique instrument. There are many different types
that is
of
considered
guitars.
to be very, very hard.
Spanish or
Apparently, there's a car being stolen outside. Okay. Just getting the link out here. StreamYard.com / K6 B ZX B6T. All right, sent. He might be mobile. He probably is. Yeah, that was the solo for Sultan of the Swing, which is really, really hard to do, and known to be one of those solos that only really good guitarists play. And that was Sophie playing it. Just that little part. Don't want to steal too much from other people's channels, do I? Not much. So actually, my lunch is arriving, so I'm thinking about lunch now. This guy is wicked. You ever seen these guys who fly these planes that land them?
What's up, guys? Just pushed the plane out. This is a beautiful, brisk January day, and the plan is I'm going to go down and explore south of where I normally play. South of Reno and Gardnerville, and work my way out into the east into a part of the desert I haven't explored that much. And then the main goal today is just kind of to scout for what could be some potentially cool, like fly-out camping spots this spring. So nothing really firm planned for. Well, at this altitude, I'm looking at my airspeed versus my true airspeed, seeing about a 12-mile-an-hour difference. So I'm going to touch down way faster than I normally do, which is okay. My old wing used to touch down way faster than this wing does.
Have a good one, Rand. See you later now.
Okay, let's roll through the dips. Nice. We did it.
Just landed on the
That
side.
is rad. Altimeter says 11,140 feet, which is the highest I have landed for sure. Landed, I should say. I want to see what the sign says. I'm going to go ahead, take a quick break, and then we'll blast off back out of here. And welcome to 11,000, over 11,000 feet in the old Freedom Fox. It's a new personal record for the highest I've ever landed. It's awesome that it must have just stayed super windy up here, that none of the snow built up. But this is pretty rad. Crazy when you think about it, like Mile High in Idaho, which, you know, is a mile high, is pretty gnarly. People are worried about that because of the elevation. I've had a few friends wreck their planes up there, and here we are, pretty much 2 mile high.
All right, so without stealing too much more of this fellow's video, Trent Palmer, really interesting, flies these super light experimental aircraft that he can literally fly and land almost anywhere. This guy is amazing. So good times there for sure. What else? Honestly, not too many other things. I did want to get on and talk about the Revelator a little bit, and wanted to share what I thought of it, and also in terms of my friend's video, which Coffee Talk and Tech was really the inspiration, because I looked at that device that he got. I really did, and I'm a very big fan of DBX equipment for sure. So I definitely was familiar with all the things that and tech. Come on. I was very familiar with all the things that the device brought. You know, the DBS 286S is a very fully featured channel strip that brings to you all the stuff you want for a microphone in almost any situation. The one thing it's missing is the one thing you need, which is the device that hooks it up to the computer. If they had built in a USB audio interface to that device, then they would have really had a device worthwhile. But the truth is, you need another way to get it into the computer when you're done with it. It's just a straight audio-only device, and it's got to be plugged. Its output has to be plugged into an input device of some kind. And, you know, if you've got to turn around and spend, well, anywhere between $50 to $60 for the least expensive interface you could possibly get, or all the way up to the cost of a Revelator to do the very same, I don't think there's a lot of value in owning that device if you just could simply buy the Revelator. I mean, in the end, you're getting the same features. Now, Presonus as a company can be an issue because, again, I have the Presonus 22 VSL, and it has a DSP in it, and it has even more power than the Revelator. But nobody knew about it because A, they didn't properly market or support it, and B, when Windows 7 was superseded, they didn't make new drivers to allow the thing to work properly in Windows beyond 7, as far as I know. At least it works properly in my Windows 7 laptop still, and that's exactly where I'm leaving it. But it's hard to put your money into a company that you feel may abandon you on the, leaving you without the features that you paid for. So,
what's up, guys? Welcome back to Coffee Talking Tech. I'm John Ryan. Today,
we're always looking for the inexpensive ways to go about what we want to get done here while streaming. Remembering that OBS Studio, you don't have to pay for it. It's free. Your StreamYards is free for 20 hours every month. So you can get started, and 20 hours is a fair bit. So you're going to get going. You're going to need a microphone, and ideally you're not going to use the one that's on your laptop. You're going to use a, additional one. And what we're hoping to do is just guide you to the best ways and the best things and the best prices that you can get for these things. You're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your money. You don't own 10 of them like I already do for no good reason whatsoever. All those important things. And coming up next, it is, do you know who? I do.
It might be the bad guy.
What? The bad guy? Yes, I believe we have the one, the only, the bad guy. Hey, bad guy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He's not so bad.
Thank you. Why are we echoing?
I know. Are you echoing? I'm not.
Well, stop making me echo.
Shouldn't be. Hang on, let me see.
I know I have the shut off muted.
Okay, I fixed it.
Oh, thank you.
Lunch has arrived. Thank you.
So what was that all about with the echoing?
Oh, just a slider I had up that needed to be down.
I thank Muscle Shell already, and I'll thank him for the next week, and I thank you for coming up last night, and I think we had a very good time, wouldn't you say?
I had a great time.
I mean, I could have went all night or kept all day today. We still had 75 people at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Did you see how we woke up Dreadpool? He got him out of bed. He's rubbing his eyes going, I can't believe I'm starting to stream at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, too bad.
Oh my God. And what was really cool about it was if you, let me find the part where I just want to get to the part where it was late. Oh, it was. If you go to 6 hours and 14 minutes into the stream, when Marley and T come in and she was wearing that chicken outfit.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. And you, her, and Chungus went and put on that shark outfit and was dancing, and you were in that
put on the
psychedelic face. Oh my God, it was hilarious, my friend. And I just wanted to say, thank you.
What time in did you say that was?
6 hours and 15 minutes. Keep going. To the right. Yeah, there you go. Keep going.
Hang on a second here. I just got to freeze. I got to do the share screen. I will take this one I'll use audio. And then there's me and you, and I'm going to select me. There's me. And then...
It's not rigged.
It's not rigged.
All right, I'm going to hop down and chat.
Unless your name
But I'm
is...
not blue, so I can't put my email out there.
Wait, where are you?
When I jump back in chat, I'm going to jump back in chat.
Get rid of that sound for a moment. We're at 6...
No, so go to 6:45 and play it.
Oh, she's still there. We got her already.
No, I know. Go to 6:45 though and play it. You know, no, you got to go to 6:45. That's when it starts happening.
That's 6:45 right there.
Anything in the notes and anything they said, like, or anything, I'd be like, no, I put no in there. Don't worry about it. I put don't worry about it every time, dude. Like,
and then when Chungus comes back in that outfit and starts dancing with her, it's hilarious, dude.
So what's up, Chicken Little?
Here it comes.
Hi. What you doing?
Don't be all shy now. Normally you're talking all kinds of crap. You got 90 people watching. You're like, oh, I can't say that.
Not
my first
90 freaking people at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm about to put my Stitch onesie on.
Not too bad,
right
huh?
now too, so you guys better stop.
Oh, you know what happens when you wipe mustard in your eye?
Yes, I want to see it.
I will. I'm not even lying. I will straight up put that damn thing on.
For me?
For you.
I'm already wasted. Let's go. Hold on.
I got a bag. Want to see my bag?
hardcore, do you hear my chair? Is that what it is? Do you hear my chair? It squeaks all the time when I move and readjust.
Got a cat in the bag? I got a cat in the bag.
Believe me, if I rip ass, I ain't gonna. I don't give a damn. I'll tell you.
No, you want to stand?
But I'm not. No, that's my chair, girl.
It's got to start pretty quick. We're at 6:46 still.
I'm looking where I'm trying to find where they were dancing.
Oh
It
man,
was
that little box
hilarious.
that you put the talking stick and everything in. I don't know.
Hey, who's
what
the
was
chicken?
in that. That thing smells wonderful.
I want to know honestly, is that your pajamas?
I'm not running that T. I'm like, that's my.
Yeah, it's like 6. There it is. There it is. Now they're right there. Watch. They start. It's so. Yeah, I was gonna say. You know.
You're killing me. Where the heck did you get that? I want one.
This is your giveaway, so we're leaving you up full screen.
Oh. Oh man.
I was opening my wedding cake pin. I'm not clicking buttons.
You wrong for that. Wrong for
that.
So right after the tea bag is when.
Oh, right on, Darren. Thanks for those links, bro. Let's see.
It's a full onesie.
Wait.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes. That thing is awesome. Oh my god.
Freaking
I love
awesome.
it.
You're awesome, dude. Don't
Oh,
worry
it's
about
amazing.
it. Just do the best you can. I appreciate you. This
I even got
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
that's
gonna
so
remember
great.
this tomorrow, buddy.
We're not going to remember it. We're going to go over it.
Oh, you can tell he is
Yeah, I
lit.
want one hardcore.
He is lit.
That's so awesome, dude.
Buddy, we're not going to just remember it. We're going to review it. Good times.
You know, and that's when you just sit back, you be quiet, throw in a few jokes, and just let it happen. You know what I'm saying? You let them do what they're gonna do because the stream took over, the people did, and it's so amazing. Still hear me?
Yeah, you bet. The wife delivered me a hot dog, so I'm doing it in.
Oh, gotcha.
You know the hot dogs from Costco? That's what I got. I'm piggishly eating.
Oh, I think he's twerking.
Oh, no, it's working. Yeah.
Get it! Oh, God, it's so...
Woohoo!
Awesome. Good times.
I am not going to remember this tomorrow, but you guys will.
All right,
That's
next thing, we all dress up as animals.
I like that, Darren.
I whip my hair back. I whip my hair back.
Hey, listen, you guys, I want to thank everyone for showing up, man. This turned out frigging awesome. Everyone that shared Mikey out, everyone that told someone about Mikey, you guys.
Not to be confused with our freaking
amazing.
awesome.
I've had a
just
blast.
Amazing. 168 likes. That's ridiculously awesome.
Run it.
Friggin' amazing. Just amazing.
All I know is I want to thank everybody on the panel. Gypsy, Chungus, I really want to thank you guys. I mean, so amazing that you guys would do something for somebody you hardly even know, but this is how you end up becoming friends and you know, establishing friendships. Chat, thank you. Every single person that was here from the beginning to now, just so awesome. I mean, that's the only way I could say it. It's amazing.
Panucci, we love you. Come on.
Totally amazing.
You're amazing.
Hey, I just want to ask a favor from everyone in the chat.
You did get drunk called by the guy in the Stitch onesie.
I had to quit once once my drinking buddy left. I did. I had to quit.
That's maybe a good thing.
Want to play a game?
All right, so let me pull up Teabag real quick. Or yeah, there we go.
Do it. Yes.
Are you guys both weaving and bobbing?
Get ready.
Can we put them up side by side?
I don't think we can because.
Wait, what if I drag her over? No, I can't drag her.
I mean, you can go, if we went here, you can then move like that.
Yeah. And then can we do like.
Put him.
Like this. Did you get done eating now? Can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh,
I am done for the most part.
Was that hot dog good? That sounds really freaking amazing, having a hot dog right now.
It's a Costco one, so you've had those, I'm sure.
Yes.
Had two Costco
one
hot
of
dogs,
these
but one
weekends
of
I'll
them
take
is...
a trip. Well, one of these weekends we have a Costco down in Bismarck, you know, which is about 100 miles away.
Really?
One of these weekends I'll go down there and have some Red Lobster and all that, you know, and
it's a little ways away.
Yeah, I mean, it takes about an hour and a half to get there, and then you spend the day down there and you go eat in the, you know, like I said, a Red Lobster or wherever, and have a great time, you know.
It takes me about an hour roughly to drive to the karaoke location. That's basically almost as west in Vancouver as you can go. There's probably only 5 minutes more driving west before you're at the ocean when you're at that pub. Anywho, so I suppose we can dump that. That was our yesterday. Red rubber ball. Yeah, I know that was a really great time. Thanks for throwing that and for inviting me. I had a good time, and I don't know it. Can't possibly think that there was a single person that didn't have a good time last night.
That's all that matters. Seriously, that's all that matters.
Only Durbin is on right now doing his auction. None of our friends are on for the time being. Just Mr. Durbin selling off some things and stuff. He has a great auction. He makes great silver bells. So having a Durbin bell is a cool thing to have. But yeah, I thought I'd get up and toy with my equipment today and fart with buttons and switches and dials. So that meant just turning it on. And the other thing was, of course, since I signed up for the $10 StreamYard package, I thought, well, you know what? Ever since I've started to pay them money, I've started to use it less and less. And that sucks. So once again, decided I would use up some StreamYard time. Not that I have unlimited StreamYard time now. So. And now that you're here, maybe other people will show up. But, you know, typically I don't draw like you do. So, and that's okay. Never bothered me.
What do you mean draw like me?
I mean, when you put up a live stream, people show up, and I've been live streaming for 2 hours and 42 minutes, and you can see.
And you want to know what, Dimebag?
Hmm?
This is what I'm going to be doing for people. I am going to facilitate. You know, like last night, I was telling Gypsy Stacker this. Next time you host it, I told Gypsy this. I said, Gypsy, next time you host it, and I'll sit where you were last night, and we'll just do the same thing. You know, we'll just switch spots. You know, and that's what it's all about. And you know, when you start, and I've always said this, because in a day of pandemics and madness, lockdowns, and everything else, sadly we have to and when I say sadly, but it's also a good thing, we have to turn to the internet for friendships and for socializing. You know, where it used to be, okay, we can do, let's say, a couple hours of socializing on the internet, and then we would also have 8 hours of going out in the world and having friends and everything else.
Yeah, it's all down to this now.
Yeah, and what we need to do is, and people are going to be attracted to the people that are honest, the people that are polite, the people that actually care about each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. To me, this is the best thing since CB radio. When I was a young kid, I wanted to have my voice go out there. And I got a CB radio when I was 13 years old. I put an antenna on the roof, and I talked to everybody who would talk to me anywhere they were. And that's how I got out. And then later on, I got a ham radio and broadcasted even further. And then that sort of hobby went by the wayside. And then with the computer came, and then this happened, and I realized this is the modern ham radio. I get my own channel, and I can broadcast 24/7 if I want. Nobody can stop me, just like my CB radio. If I want to key the mic and start yammering away, people may or may not listen, but nobody can stop me. And that's what I like. Nobody can stop me. I could broadcast nothing. I could broadcast one finger in the air if I wanted. I can do what I like. And that's what I'm doing.
But I'm working on a project now, similar but different than last night, and it's going to be amazing, truly amazing if it all works out the way I'm hoping it will, that I'm starting to plan in my head. You know what I mean?
Well, definitely all starts with an idea, right?
Yeah, it does. And let me read you something that my buddy that didn't make it last night, he said, dude, I just caught the replay, and that was insane, man. You had over 1K views. That's an incredible thing you did, brother. I hate that I missed this. Man, you are incredible on camera, brother. We have needed you on here, meaning in the comic book community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he apologized to me like twice. Sorry I missed it. I was wondering when you were doing this. And, you know, because he's usually in bed early on Sunday nights. You know, he has a family, wife and kids and all that. But, you know, when you start doing that LLC thing, after your name on YouTube. All I know is all I have to do is bounce it off Muscle Shell and it'll come to fruition, you know?
I can tell you that Muscle Shell was one of the people who tried to help me at the very beginning. You know, he was there to give me his input, and I was appreciative of it. He's a person who's been helpful to everyone basically all the time. It's neat to see him with all the shout-out videos that he does, and basically he's never working for himself.
You know, I'm the type of person that, you know, I can't, you know, I could, but I'm saying the chances of me being able to come to your house on a spur of the moment to say thank you, and I could write you send you a nice card and say thank you. But, you know, I see like you're on, I'm going to take the 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long I'm going to be on, and I'm going to say thank you to you, you know? And I wish more people, and like I, you know, people don't even realize that, like Steel Wool Queen got up there last night, and just by turning on her camera for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, however long she was up there, and just for her to turn on the camera and see her face,
that was pretty neat.
It means everything. It puts meaning to everything. That, you know, when you see her in chat and you talk to her, now you can put that face to the words. And now
we had a few face reveals yesterday.
Exactly.
At least if they weren't reveals, they were people whose faces I hadn't seen yet, or don't regularly stick their faces out there like the way I do. I could care less, right? I'm always face, Mr. Face. Oh, we got a new notification. Let's see who did what. Nope, nobody important. There's this one guy, his name is Brody Brazil, and he's like a professional sports commentator. He does, I think, the Sharks. And he has a YouTube channel, and I tell you, he's got a rack of equipment behind him, and he's got it all plugged in such a way that all the lights bounce with his voice, and they're not doing anything at all. And so I said, hey, nice light show, bud. Like, it's just like, the question was, how many lights can I get to bounce with my voice so it looks like cool things are happening? And somebody said, all of them, man. And he said, okay, turn them all on. That's what it looks like. Oh. Hide.
You know, and like, I'm writing a reply to Storm and Norman on the thing, and you want to know something? If it wasn't for my friends who moderated last night, they saved our butt, if you really think about it, because it was incredible the amount of people that were in chat, you know, and the way, you know, there's no way, and what's sad is, what people don't understand is StreamYards, when in YouTube, when you put my name in there, it shows up red. It doesn't do that in StreamYards. It's all white and black and white. And you can miss a lot of that stuff, you know, that people are saying, you know, so.
Just checking out the music that they just built into StreamYards.
Oh, is there new music and stuff?
Yeah, in the brand category on the side, you can select background music. They just added that. I don't know if you'll see it in the non-paid version. But I always wanted exactly this, just a little tiny bit of background music just playing pointlessly in the background, and now it is. That's perfect. All I gotta do is figure out how to make that part go away now. Go away. There we go. Awesome.
So let me ask you something. Analytics.
Do you pay attention to them?
I don't know how to really read them. I mean, that was my first live stream.
I gotta tell you, it's because I don't care a lot that I don't pay attention to the analytics much. But when I open the page, I'm honestly surprised by things like, I think last month I had 906 views, and to me, any number close to 1,000 that's related to me in views seemed awesome. Now I compared that to some other people who had like way more. When I mentioned that, they said, well, I had a billion, thousand, zillion, and I thought, well, that's, you know, that's also good. But like right now, my channel got 649 views in the last 28 days. 649 thank yous, really, is, you know, awesome. Somebody might look at that and say, well, you should have way more than that. That's lousy. But they couldn't dampen my spirits one little bit. I mean, truth be told, I think it's friggin' awesome. Right? 649, 201 less than usual. Oh, damn. That's not good. Watch time, hours, 62.1, about the same as usual. And subscribers +8, 3 less than usual, I guess, for the month. For the last 28 days, I would normally get a few more subscribers. But I got another one today. And I think that was a result of last night. Honestly. So. But yeah, there's a lot to learn from the analytics, and there are a lot of people who can teach you how to read the analytics properly. And there is a tool called TubeBuddy that a lot of people use to keep track of these things, that are very good at you know, helping you parse the bits of data that come out of the old analytics. But I would say if you do want to learn more and understand more about the views that your channel is getting, TubeBuddy. I would say TubeBuddy is the answer there. And a couple of these other guys that really understand how to read the analytics. Once again, StreamYards has its regular shows, and these are the places where, I mean, they're all about wanting you to grow your stream. No two ways about that. You should be subscribed to the StreamYard channel.
Hold on.
So that you don't miss all the guidance a person can get from here. Every single one of these is a useful kind of thing. YouTube live streaming checklist. How can I develop the successful 22 content? How to set up a practice live stream. How to improve your live show. How to grow your channel. 7 mistakes live streamers make that can cost them views.
No, I get that. Okay, so let's look at my stream from last night. Okay.
Right.
So I go to analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And then what pops up is this stream finish, and like it'll say playbacks 1488, peak concurrent 109. I got 601 hours and 37 minutes and 15 seconds of total watch time. Chat rate is 20.
Wow.
Average watch time is 24.15, and duration was 7 hours, 1 minute, and 20 seconds.
And the beauty of that is I have no idea if any of that's good or bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. You know, you know,
This is
so
good?
when I look at that, it's like, okay, some of the things I can understand, like total watch time or duration, and peak concurrent, you know, 109, you know, was the top we reached, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what does chat rate 20 mean? What does playbacks mean? You know?
I know chat rate has to do with how quickly and how often people are actually chatting in chat.
Oh, wait. So it says here, your stats are still being processed.
Ooh.
For the latest data, check the stream's analytics in YouTube Studio.
Okay, so on the icon in YouTube, that's your icon, that's the top right, and you click on it, one of those things will be YouTube Studio.
Okay, so I'm at my channel where it says, and I'll go to customize channel.
No, hang on.
That way I'm at my dash. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so on your channel, in the top corner, there's a little icon that is you. When you click on it, it's going to throw open a bunch of things, including your channel, purchases and membership, and then YouTube Studio.
Okay,
Go into
YouTube Studio. Okay, go in there. All right, so I look at the stream and it says views 1.1K, average view duration 3323, peak concurrent 109. Okay. Then it says go to video analytics and see comments 17, you know, blah, blah, blah. And my subscriber current subscribers is at 284. The last 28 days I've had 2K views, you know, and watch time has, see here it says summary and the watch hours is 587.3.
You can share the screen if you want.
Oh,
I can't
all right,
see it.
hold on. Yes, sorry.
So in channel analytics in the middle where it says go to channel analytics in blue,
yes,
that would be the overall channel, not on one video, but on all all the videos.
Right.
And then below it, there are videos that you can click on to look at the analytics for the individuals. Well, first, click on go to channel analytics.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. And first you get your overall, but as you look below, you see the videos and you can look at individual videos now by clicking on
Like
that.
this one and this one.
Yeah.
Right, I see that. And then like, let's go up here, like real time updating live, 284 subscribers, see live count. What does that mean?
Not sure. I see the same thing, but I've never clicked on that. Let's click on it and see.
All right.
Oh, it's just a little graphola. Oh, look at you. You're climbing like you're going to the moon.
Yeah, I see that.
I wish I had stock in that. Mine's a little more bumpy.
But this is where we're going to work on it, you know, on people's chats and things like that, you know, and people are like, oh, why are you doing that? Man, listen, I'm retired. I shoot pool. I do my thing. And then when I have extra time, I sit here on a computer, you know, and I like when I go see Darren doing his karaoke, or I like going to George's and hanging out and just talking with friends, especially about coins or whatever the case is. I like every once in a while going over to some of these streams where they're doing auctions or they're racing and things like that, you know? And I want to push us. How many subs do you have, Darren?
513.
Okay, so I want to get to that point where, you know, just like you, if somebody said, or, you know, somebody doesn't even have to ask me, if Darren goes live, I can share out Darren's stream. Hey, I'm over here. Let's come over here and hang out and talk and, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
So I got 2K views, or my channel got 2,037 views in the last 28 days.
But click on that video right below and see how it did.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll give us some details of what happened that night.
Oh, since it was published, it got 83 views. And I got a total, since it ended last night or published, and I got plus 4 subscribers just from it ending last night. So real time, I got 1,174 views last night.
Choice. Yeah, you
Right
had
here?
a shite load of people. That was a thing.
And then how your audience engaged in last night's live stream.
Crazy. All of that. Chat's all chatting. Like chats per minute or something.
Yeah, chats. 277 chat messages. 241 chat messages.
Total chat 19,678 messages. 19,000 messages. LOL.
So did we blow up YouTube?
Not quite, but we're on the way.
Right?
19,000 messages. I didn't know we were that opinionated. 19,000 messages.
So,
I need my delivery people. Hang on, I got to place an order with my delivery people.
So then you want to know why
Banshee Mining,
I broke the mold, I mean, I see people that go to these streams, don't get me wrong, people's streams and stuff like that, and they're moderators on people's streams, and I understand that they're appreciated to a certain extent, but my friends who moderated last night had to deal with almost 20,000 chat messages to include bots and possibly any other idiotic things, you know what I mean? That's insane. And then you want to know why I did something that I did for them, you know what I mean? Oh, look at this one, Darren. And then here, what was funny was how I wanted to start it out was I told George, I said, listen, I don't say anything, but I'm going to go live 10 minutes early. And we put up that pound, are you ready? Hashtag, are you ready? And Gypsy Stacker, right at 10 o'clock Eastern, he was supposed to hit the 30-second timer in StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
But he accidentally hit for the for the giveaway to go instead hitting a 30-second timer.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it just went amazing. So 1 hour and 29 minutes. All right, so let me go over here real quick. I'm assuming this is how, let's see what was happening at 1 hour and 29 minutes into it. So 1 hour. Oh, Can was there. Let's see what he was talking about.
I like it. So Chungus will do the Denvers, and I have the Phillies from '64. Good luck, everyone.
I let you down, sir. I feel
Love you
so
too, Steel.
Oh, Monkey King Medals giveaway there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's pause that a second. Then we can come over here. We can look at the peak hours, what was going on. So I could technically write down, okay, what was going on at 11 minutes, what was going on at 30 minutes.
That's
and
exactly
so
it. When you see a tune out, you can get a feel for what caused people to tune out. That's what a lot of people use this for, is if something happens on their stream and everybody tunes out right at that moment, well, what the hell happened? What did you do that caused people to say, forget it, going to change channel?
I'm assuming that right here, let's say, for instance, 125 people were chatting. And then right here, for some reason, it slowed down to 9 people chatting for some reason. But if you look overall, like we had 116, 105, okay, what was going on at 5 hours and 1 minute?
Day is it today? Monday, right? Yeah, good. Charge. Oh, 69% charge. That's perfect. 69.
All right, so what was going on at 5 hours and 1 minute? Let's see.
The Batmobile.
Why isn't it playing? There we go. Oh yeah, the Batmobile was going on. So at that time, at 5 hours and 1 minute, we were doing the Batmobile. And we had 105 views at that time for the Batmobile. Isn't that amazing?
Better numbers than I've ever been able to put up, and this was your first stream. You're a friggin' star. Truth is, you built so much goodwill up in the the community that this was the only way this was going to happen. As soon as you took the step, you already had so many friends that wanted to be there for you that you'd never done this before. This, you built up the anticipation basically, and then it paid off.
Right.
You can't have as many friends as you do and not have a live stream go like this.
Yeah, but you see it from a different perspective, or you see it from the outside looking in, for instance, where here I am like, I don't know whether it's going to bomb, whether it's going to be amazing like it was last night. And, all I know is my philosophy is I just want to see smiles on people's faces and enjoying their night. You see what I'm getting at?
No, absolutely. And,
and
karaoke's about that too, right? When I'm out there in the real wild, entertaining people, that's what you want to see.
And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew this was what it's all about. You know what I'm getting at?
I think everybody got it last night.
Right.
I think so. A message was sent and received.
You ever have an idea? Bounce it off of a muscle shell. Let me tell you something. He'll put it into a perspective that you're like, that's the way of thinking I should be thinking about, So.
When Deathbringer Regent enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand and there are 5 or more other creatures on the battlefield, destroys all other creatures.
Why isn't this playing?
That'll do. I don't know.
What the?
Change
all right,
channels.
so yeah, and then even like I said, here we are. 79 people were chatting, and this is at 4 o'clock in the freaking morning. We're at 6 hours 45 minutes, and we started at 9 o'clock my time, so that's 3:45 in the morning my time. That's 4:45 your time in the morning. Amazing. All right, so let's go back and look at. Oh, so how can you play the sound if I do this video? Or do I need you?
There's a check mark that you need to make that says share with sound. So if you did share and you didn't share with sound, stop the share and start again and find the little check mark that says share with sound.
Okay, so what do you mean?
Okay.
I pulled up this video that I wanted to watch.
Okay. Let me just remove me here. Stop. Okay, and I'm going to remove this part from you. I'll just... No, I just wanted to remove. Okay, now I can...
How about I do this?
No, we don't want that.
Hold on, how about I do this? I'm going to send you the link right now.
Well, you can share the screen with sound.
No, I know. Hold on. Let me send you this link right now, and then I want you to play it. There you go.
Sending it in the chat?
No, I sent it to you in email.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I could have done a rain check, couldn't I have?
You could have done it right. Yeah, in fact, I prefer you did because.
All right, I'll do it right now. Yeah, hold on.
My email doesn't actually come directly to my computer. I have to forward it.
Right.
All emails come to my phone, and
There
then
you
those
go.
that are
That way
good
you
enough.
can share it and play it. And
what?
Yeah. Oh, I can stop sharing. Hold on.
Okay, no, that's good.
There you go.
What do you mean something went wrong, Doughhead? Oops, something went wrong.
That's my Eagle I'm watching. It's amazing. That's an amazing channel also. So let's play it real quick, and then I gotta go feed the dogs.
It's not really going my way here. What's the name of the channel?
Wait. So, why isn't it going your way? Did we not get the... It went to the video when I clicked on the link.
Okay, something's...
I stopped sharing.
Go to my channel. Hang on. Go to me live. Open up the chat. There's the link. I click on it. And what happens? There we go. Okay, so now it's playing.
Now you just got to share it to your screen.
Share. Share screen. Share system audio. And choose this video. And hit share. And then hit play.
You got to show it. There we go.
What is going on, executives? I'm Alex Winkink Michael. I'm the company man, the numbers guy. Welcome back into the boardroom, executives. I've got like a aura of excitement about me today. I don't know what it is, you know. I mean, the channel, I'm really trying to not blow this thing up. Hopefully, you guys, you know, like the opinion pieces. I don't know. We're going to see how those kind of continue to play out as we grow and, or maybe shrink. I don't know. But I've got a confession to make about this box. Now, it's Monday. You know, nose to the grindstone. It's been a rough start to 2022 for me for a lot of reasons. I'm not going to get into all those. Maybe I will on some of the talk videos, but holy cow, I have gotten my teeth kicked in. You know, I really want to share more of my life with you guys, more of my thoughts, my feelings. I kind of keep a lot of that guarded. I keep a lot of that to myself.
All right, Derek, go ahead and watch
maintain the
this.
positivity. But believe me,
I gotta
we
drop
struggle
off for a
mightily
little
here in the
bit.
boardroom every single day.
And I'll be back
And man,
if
I'm
you're still
telling you
on,
right
all right, my
now,
friend?
I am, wow, it's just
All right,
crazy.
we'll do
I have to
that
laugh.
another
Gotta
time.
feed my dogs.
So nuts how Rocky 2022 started.
I'll be back.
Confession about this box. You know, I've held this box for way too long. What are we talking about? You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title of the video you clicked on. We've got the man from Beantown, $230 comic book mystery box. Now, this bad boy is probably at this point in time about a month or so old, but I held it for good reasoning because in this mystery box game that I play all the time, you know, I do lose kind of frequently, but not all. Dark Hawk 1 variants. I've really loved the curation and the randomness, and for me, I know a lot of people are different, you know, collectors in different eras, but for me, you know, me being pretty new to it, I kind of like it all, and I sort of want it all, so it works out really well for me. So let's get this bad boy started here. Let's see what Benny Beans has. So our first book, and right out of the gate, there it is, Dark Hawk 1. And you gotta love it. This is the new rendition. Dark Hawk has picked up a little steam. People make fun of it all the time. I think it's kind of a cool character, but this is kind of the modern reboot. You know, again, there's some speculation around the character. I think he's kind of... I am not into horror in the least bit, but there is just something about these Tomb of Dracula and right now. But he's just got, it's a $5 modern book, nothing to it, nothing too special. So it's good in the Mylar. What's he got on it? 50 or $10. He's got $10 on it. I'm assuming he's probably using like eBay last sold or somewhere, something like that. But it's 25 on it, really nice. Look at that. Lucio Perillo, man, he is an unbelievable artist. Some of the work he's done for Scorpion, oh my God, man. I mean, he's an unbelievable artist. I mean, he's done some really great covers. A lot of Spider-Man, cool Superman. That'll definitely go in my PC for sure. $40 on that, dude. That thing is a nice copy. It's got a 77. Old school Superman. That'll definitely go in my PC for sure. $40 on that, dude. That thing is a nice
Pretty cool stuff there.
copy. It's got a little chipping. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, these are old books. But man, that presents really, really well. the series. No spoilers, please, but man, it's an incredible series. And look at this Vader and Boba Fett cover. Beware of the Juggernaut. God, you gotta love that. Unbelievable looking book. Very nice. And last but not least, we got a little bit of, I mean, this is so funny. I'm actually reading this. Somebody told me you got to read Immortal Hulk, so I'm actually reading it on my Unlimited app right now. We got the Immortal Hulk 13 Landscape, third printing. He's thinking it's like $5 on that or something. No, it doesn't have a tag. It's probably $5. So that is our Man from Beantown box. Now, again, like we said, this spans all eras. And you know what, man? Sometimes the Virgin variants, this is fire right here. I don't know what the print run on this is. This is absolute fire right there. I mean, so you got to think, this is probably one of the lower end boxes of that whole box run. And you got to love it. I mean, the span, the age, the eras, a lot of PC books for me, just so much. I mean, Wolverine, I mean, at least over half of this box goes in my PC and helps me fill runs of some books that are really, really increasing in value. But as I always say...
All right, that one was suggested by, you know who, Mr. Panucci, and some pretty cool books, I guess, that were unwrapped there in that little deal. Dum, 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 dum. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 ba, bum. Bum, bum, ba, 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 bum. Ba, 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 bum, bum. Just see something here. Turn down my mic. Check 1, 2. Check 3, 4. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 3, 4. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. That means it goes around in circles. No, it doesn't. I'm listening to it. Am I streaming out StreamYards? No. StreamMix A is only... Stop. Where's the stop button? Okay, well, I want it to be... That's live YouTube. So if I want to hear StreamYards, which I don't. This is if I want to hear me, which I do. I'll leave that up so I can hear me. And I can hear... One, two, three. Check 1, 2. Oh, then I hear it from both places. so. Ba 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 bum bum ba bum. Ba 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 bum bum ba bum. Oh. Cool. Oh, can I be heard? Am I hearing myself? Hello, check 1 2. Yeah, okay. So if we hit play, make it real quiet. And I hear it more than once. Check 1 2. If I don't want to hear that, then I won't hear anything at all. Okay, interesting. Check 1 2. Volume for me, volume for you. Daydreaming. If you're day drinking and you need a tune, you got a tune to do your day drinking too. Just pour another 2, pour 3 or 4. That's what you need to do. That's interesting. Maybe we'll explore that. Let's listen to some of this music, shall we? Here's the first included tune with our StreamYards. Try that. Okay, so I don't hear it at all like this. Am I coming through? Do. I see levels. Ba ba bum. I only hear the music. I only hear the music. I can hear my audio too. Interesting. Bum, 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 bum. You guys should be able to hear me more right now. It's main. Oh, that's right. That's why. Okay. So I hear me and music. But music comes through live YouTube channel. Well, I have a suggestion for our friends at StreamYard, that's for sure. Check 1 2, check 3 4. 1 2 3 4, check check check. Give it a little more oomph and see how that goes. 1 2 3, check check check. Let's get this working just a little bit less aggressively. Check, check 1, a little less aggressive. Just a little touch or two. It's all I want. Touch or two. Just a touch or two. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Yeah, I'll go with that. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Check 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2 3 4. Use that one there. Q. There we go. Check check check. This is a test checking for me. Low. Low. How low can you go? Well, that's the one they call dance pop. There's the daydreaming one we heard earlier. This is called feeding the ducks. We are feeding ducks. Throw the ducks some bread. Reach into the bag and do it once again. We are feeding the ducks. We send them lots of grain. We give them bread and stuff until they go insane. And then we go into space. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Yes, sir. It's 5-year mission. It's got a mission. If you want to check out the mission, check it out. We go into space. We blast off. We take the race into the stars. We go far. It's going to take a long time to get anywhere. All right. This is lo-fi or lo-fi. I'm checking out the built-in music in our StreamYards that they built in for us. This is called lo-fi. All right, switching to night driving. That's pretty cool. Pretty chill. I like night driving. You can see that behind you during a chat, like a live stream. Reduce it down to say about there, number 20. So that's background level 20. And I'll turn off the reverb here for a moment. Now, what would it be like to have a conversation while that music was playing across the nation? Could you understand that things are being said? Would you sound bad and you would go to bed? You would not like it if you don't like the sound. You would not, what I mean, hang around. That's what I'm saying. A little rap off the top of my head is what I'm playing. Boom, boom. I like that. I think I'm going to leave the music alone right there. And then if I turn off the camera right now, what do we get? We get something cool, don't we? And we have 2 countdowns. We have a 10. Second countdown, 30-second countdown. Live with StreamYard. No, thank you. It's all broadcasting. Okay. What happens if I upload a logo? Let's get a logo and upload it. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Get you a logo. From the desktop. That's a logo. That will do. If I select the logo, where does it show up to? I'll select it now. Look at it in the corner now. I gotta get a different logo. Gotta get my angry face. Gotta get my angry dad face up there in the corner. Like a logo. Looking like a logo in the corner. Yeah. Looking like a logo in the corner. We can change the color of the logo. It can be pink. It can be black. We can have a black attack. Do you like it green? Do you like it red? You can have it any way you want it because it's on your head. We can have the minimal. We can have the classic. We can have the bubble. It can be blocky. It can be bubbly. I like bubbles. Boo doo 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 doo. Just got here. What is going on, Armando? I'm just, you're looking at it. This is what I'm doing. Just farting around. There's you know, you can come on up, visit and stuff. Just not too much going on. I am keeping an eye on the our friends, the streaming public. I'm not in the right spot here. That's not working. There we go. All right, so let's just see what's happening on YouTube right now. Reality NSFW is happening. FF Coxsag. I'm not sure what he does, except it's cool. Home automation. My friend Jimmy Dore is on. Be Real TV, H3 Podcast, AAP's Variety Channel. And I don't have anybody else who's live right now except for my buddy, the Numismaniac. And now it's time to join the Numismaniac in progress. All right, time for me to join the boys. Everybody, let's get over to Numismaniac's channel, The Numismaniac, all right? I'm going to end this and get there. Bye for now.